Hey guys, welcome to Geekly. I'm your host Trevor, but we're here at WMSC Upper Montclair, New Jersey. It is a lovely, lovely day because today is the Focus immigration thing, and I want to tell you a quick story about me, about my ancestors. See, I don't have I don't have anything I have a pretty interesting story. My family tree is very unique, you could say. My dad's side comes from his great grandparents come from Italy, so they moved here from Sicily or Italy. We don't know exactly. We're still trying to figure out where they came from and all that stuff. But since today is the Focus Immigration Day, and since that's basically what my dad's side is, but my mom's side my mom's side is from old New Hampshire, like really old American. Like, for me, I found out about this, I think many years ago. My mom told me the story about one of my ancestors. She said, you have two really interesting ancestors. You have one that was basically basically one of the first women to become a statue, and I don't want to get into her story, but I do have one. My mom's side of the family has been here since the 1600s, since around Old American. It's basically my great ancestor Susanna Martin was accused of being a witch during the Salem witch trials. Yes, she was actually accused of being a witch. And I asked my mom recently what was her name, what was her story, and all that stuff. Supposedly she looked at a cow, and a couple of days later the cow, passed away. There was this other thing where she supposedly didn't get mud on her boots, and it stormed the past couple days. It was all this crazy stuff, and she has her own folklore song behind her, and she's for me, my ancestry is more like it's really interesting to me because I've just been rethinking about it because I've been telling my friends about my ancestry, because some of my ancestors, I could make a whole film about one, my Susanna Martin, and I could make a whole film about Hannah Durston, which is a whole separate story. But today that was a quick little tad bit about the Focus immigration thing, because even though I've lived here, my family has lived here for a long time, and some of my ancestors even fought in the Civil War, the American Revolution. I don't know if they fought in the American Revolution. I would have to ask my mom or my grandma. That's the crazy thing is, I think most of my ancestors fought in the Civil War. They fought in a lot of things, and for me that's really interesting. They're a part of history, and that's what I like. So that's a quick little tad bit about the Focus immigration thing. But today on Geekly, it'll be a fun 3 hours, hopefully fun 3 hours of fun, enjoyment, and laughter. And Harry will be on later. One of my good friends will be on later. And so will Alex Centeno. Who knows? He'll probably drop by. First I'm going to read the weather. It is a bit chilly outside, not too gray, but it's still comfortable. I know Monday was the best day ever. It was 70 degrees. It was amazing. It was fantastic. But right now it's 58 degrees up here at Montclair State University. It is partly cloudy. Wow. And then the high will be 58. The low will be 36. And tomorrow will be a lovely, lovely 55 degrees. And the low will be 42. And it will be mostly sunny. And I'm going to pull up AP News. I'm just looking on my phone to find the AP News and to tell you about what's going on in the world. The world is a very interesting place. That's what people tell me. But in international news, more Brexit stuff. Brexit, the Brexit thing. I'm reading from AP News. May asks EU to Brexit delay. Macron says no guarantee. I'm reading from AP News. Just 2 days away from the potential calamitous no-deal Brexit, European Union leaders are moving closer to guaranteeing the United Kingdom, a new delay, possibly up to a year, but to its departure from the bloc. Basically, it's gotten way more complex. That's basically what it's come down to. So, we're going to get into Geekly. We're going to run down what's going to be on today's show. Today's show will be an awesomely fun show. Today we'll be talking about the awesome movie news of today. Today will be the At the Movie special, where we'll be talking about what I'm watching this week, movie theater memories, movie theater subscription services, the Geek Pulse. There's a lot of geek news this week, and we'll get into that. And there's a lot about jump scares, Stephen King's It, which one is better? And we're going to talk about it. We're going to do the horror meltdown, and then we're going to get into the preview of Star Wars Celebration, which that's going to be really interesting to talk about. And then after that, we're going to do a quick Shazam review, and we're going to wrap it up with the MCU road to endgame, and possibly what filmmakers what I look in movie trailers when I go to the movies. So, obviously, today I'm very tired today. I don't know why. It's very weird for me to be kind of tired, but at the same time I'm not. Like, I slept really well last night, so that's the whole joke. But for me, what I'm watching this week, I basically have two main subscriptions services that I watch. I watch Amazon, Netflix, actually free. I'm doing the whole Spanish Inquisition thing where I just forget that I have a third one. But it's Netflix, Amazon, and Hulu. On Netflix, I'm recently watching Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood, which is a really good show. And for me, I love that show, and I kind of explain it like it's kind of like Game of Thrones in its storytelling and the way it handles the villains, the way it handles the pacing of the story. And it's not just, it rewards you by getting through each season. And that's what I like in a show. Like, it rewards you for getting through the season. It's nice. It's like the nicest thing possible. But then you have stuff like, then for me, like, I love the show. I think it's really good. It's really well written. It's one of the few shows that I would say is like probably one of the most complex. It has a lot more complexity to it, which I find very interesting in my opinion. And it's not just like, oh, it's like it hides behind a lot of formalities and all that stuff. No, Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood is more like a well-oiled machine. It just knows when to go and knows when to stop and knows when to figure out the characters should have time to breathe and they should have this moment. But I'm also rewatching on Netflix Stranger Things. Yeah, the show that in my first episode I said I did not like season 2. Throwback to the first ever episode of Geekly, where I ranted about how Stranger Things season 2 was not as good as the first season, and I will literally contend with people if they think that the second season is it's good. It's good. It's not bad. It's just for me it has a lot of problems. It has a lot of glaring problems. Like the filler episode. The filler episode is probably one of the strangest episodes that I've ever seen in my life. It just says like, oh, we're gonna tell you a side story about these characters. I'm like, I don't care about these characters. What would make me care about these characters? And they're like, because they care about 11. I'm like, yeah, but so does that group of people. And it's like, but they care about 11 because one of them is another group. One of them is another experiment. I'm like, yeah, I don't care about that. I really don't. And they're like, but it's amazingly well shot. And I'm like, I've seen stuff way better. Like, I'm just sitting there being judgmental, being very judgmental, being like, yeah, I've seen stuff better. I've seen that better. I've seen that done better. I'm just sitting there watching the episode, and they're just like, look, it's trying to be edgy. And I'm like, I've seen edgier things. for me, obviously, Stranger Things is has a very large complexity to me because it's not the fact that I don't like it. It's not the fact that I don't think it's bad. It's not that. It's really not. Because for me, I don't think it's not the fact that I don't like it. It's the fact that I just don't think it's as good. And I'm not saying that to be mean. I'm just saying that season 2 had a glaring problem of like characters not achieving what they wanted to achieve. And I think that's the best way to put it. And for me, that's my main problem with it. And that's overall like the main problem with that season. And I'm not knocking it. I'm not saying that they can't do anything or they can't handle it. I'm just saying that in an honest opinion, I do not like season 2 of Stranger Things. My brain is all jangled up. But going into Amazon, then we're going to take a quick break. But going into Amazon, I think for me, as much as I say that Amazon has an okay streaming service, the way they get their movies is their movie selection is better. I'm going to say that. Their movie selection for films is 10 times better than any other streaming service. For me, in my opinion. This is my opinion. This is not WMSC's opinion. This is my own opinion. This is my own thought process. And for me, when you're trying to scroll through Netflix and you're trying to find a movie to watch, I feel like there's nothing on there to watch. But for Amazon, I sit there and I watched, I'm recently trying to watch The Kings of Comedy, which is the Robert De Niro, Jerry Lewis, and like movie about comedians stealing another guy. But I don't want to get into it because it kind of reminds me, because when I watched the Joker trailer, it kind of reminded me of Kings of Comedy for some weird reason. It just did. It clicked in my head. I'm like, this might be a really interesting version of Kings of Comedy. And for me, I can't wait to see what it's going to be like. But the Kings of Comedy, the only reason I'm watching it is because of research purposes. And I just want to watch it because I want to say that I've watched that movie. That's pretty much it. Just have one under the belt. But, for me, like, I obviously think that I really love the idea of watching that movie and having a really interesting thought process when I'm watching it. I think that's the best way to put it. Yeah. So we're going to take a quick break here at WMSC Upper Montclair. We're back here at Geekly. Welcome back to Geekly. I'm your host Trevor, here with some more streaming service, with some more things that I'm watching, because I like talking about things that I'm watching because it's just a better segment, because people are saying, I said this to my mom, like, when I was walking with her. I said, I can't talk about Survivor Edge of Extinction anymore. It's too confusing. I think for me, I don't want to talk about it anymore. I think it's not a good season at all, and I don't think it's really easy to follow. And that's the best way to put it. And unfortunately for me, I don't want to do another thing of I don't want to do another Survivor talk until another season gets better. And that's it. And what I think, that's my thought process on that. But getting back to the streaming talk, what I'm watching this week. Basically, I really think that's interesting that Blade is on Amazon. It's like really funny for me, because I've been wanting to watch Blade for a long time, and it was one of the movies that I'm just like, yeah, I probably should watch that. I probably should, because it sounds like it's a very good movie. It sounds like it's very awesome. It sounds like it's very unique in its perspective and all that stuff. It just sounds really interesting in my opinion. When I see that movie, I'm just like, yeah, it looks really good. It looks really fun. And I generally have it on my list, my watch list to like, because I want to watch it eventually, and I really do. And it's not the fact that I haven't gotten around to watching it. It's the fact that I'm just like, yeah, I'll probably watch it this weekend. But it's just a fun concept. It's a really cool movie. And that's what I like. I like finding those cool, fun movies to watch. And I just enjoy that stuff whenever I'm just like, whenever I like it. I really do. That's my thought process. But getting to one of the other films on my Amazon watch list, which is the film Beetlejuice. I kind of want to rewatch Beetlejuice, and it's just for me. I love the idea of going back to Beetlejuice because Beetlejuice is really interesting of a film. It's not bad. It's a decent film. It's like an 8 out of 10. It's very fun. It has hilarious moments here and there. And for me, I like that about it, and I really do. And I like the idea of like a fun movie. And Beetlejuice is one of the fun movies where it's just like, yeah, it's really fun. It's really awesome, and it really knows what it's doing. And for me, that's what I like about it. And for me, that's pretty much my watch process on Amazon. And then I'm gonna go into, like, I want to talk about Hulu for a second. Hulu for me is very interesting right now. I don't watch Netflix anymore. I really don't. And it's not the fact that I don't like it. It's the fact that I don't think it has a good selection. Like I said before, it doesn't have the same selection of stuff, like of movies and TV shows. For me, it has like Netflix is like has a few things here and there that I like, but I can't like. I'm glad that I'm not like. I'm glad that I'm just not as interested in it anymore. For me, like when my parents first got it, it was like the coolest thing ever. It was like, oh, you get to watch these movies instantly on your computer and laptop and all that stuff. It was just so cool. And that's what I liked about it. For me, I like that stuff. I really do. But I just say to myself, I'm like, why do I not like Netflix, and now I'm liking Hulu a lot more? Because for me, it's the selection of movies. And when I sit there and think, oh, the selection is just a lot better, it's more focused, it's more interesting, and all that stuff. For me, it's just more of like, I like it because it's just way more interesting. And it's just, for me, when I sit down to watch something, I'm not just being like, oh, this is good. Oh, like for me, Hulu isn't as complex as, let's say, something like Netflix. For me, Netflix is just like, you can sit there for hours and hours and hours and on end and not find anything to watch. That's the main problem with it. For me, that's my main problem with it. Like, I can't, like, if I'm sitting on my laptop, have Netflix open, if I can't find anything, I don't like that. I really don't. As a filmmaker and a film buff, I'm like, I don't like the fact that I have to find something to watch. I have to find this. I have to find that. I'm like, I don't like that. It's so monotonous. It's really tedious at the same time. It's just like, you just sit there and you're just like, what to watch? You look at your watch instantly and you're just like, I've seen that. And you're just like, is there something new? And then you push you like to the original stuff and you're just like, yeah, I kind of don't want to watch that yet. I'll find the time. Like, the whole joke of Netflix is the fact that you're just like, you put stuff on your list and you'll be like, I'll find the time for that. I'll figure out a later time to watch it, and they'll just remove it in like a matter of like a couple months and be like, oh man, I was gonna watch that movie. Oh my god. But going back to the Hulu, and it's just like Hulu, I understand they sometimes remove stuff sometimes, but for me, I like the fact that, hey, you get a better selection of TV shows, you get a better selection of this, you get a better selection of this thought process. You don't have to like you can watch things, even though like right now on Hulu I'm watching Survivor and the earlier seasons. And for me it's so interesting watching the early seasons of Survivor, and I've said this, it's more focused, and I love it about that. The earlier seasons of Survivor are more focused than anything I've ever seen before, and they're just like, this character's going to do this character's going to do that. And for me, that's very interesting and very, very intense from start to finish. So, for me, when I watch it, it's really relaxing at the same time watching the early season of Survivor compared to the newer stuff where it's just like, it's all action. I'm like, no, I like the quiet stuff. I like the stuff that you can just relax and just watch and be like, yeah, that makes sense. That does. So, the next thing that I'm watching is surprising. It's How I Met Your Mother. Now, I've never said this before. I've never said this on the radio. I've never shared my personal thoughts on How I Met Your Mother. I like, for me, the finale, I don't exactly like it. If they just cut away from the ending and said, that's it, if they cut away from one scene, if they cut a couple scenes, and they didn't just say, oh, we're gonna just keep that. I don't want to spoil it for people. The scene, the finale of the finale of the whole series, and my friend Alex is like, my friend Alex has contended with me countless times, said to me the finale makes sense. I've said to him, no, it does not make sense. You're just, I said to him other times, I said it doesn't make sense because of this, because of how they hyped it up to be like, this is gonna be it. This is gonna be the season where you see the character, and I'm like, where you see the mother, and you're just like, yeah, this is it. Oh, and then you watch the finale, and this is your reaction. You're just like, oh, okay, so that happened. Like, that's the whole reaction of the season finale, the series finale. It's just like, okay, so that happened. It's basically, if you've never, like, for me, when I watch that show, I love the first season. I love the first couple seasons, and I love it up to a certain season, and it starts dragging at points. I felt it could have ended at season 8. It could have ended at season 8 or season 7. It should have ended at season 7 or season 6. I think, personally, it should have ended earlier rather than later. I'm one of those people who has the belief that I know they had to make it to 100 episodes, but I feel they should have cut back on the episodes as the seasons continued. That's what I would have done. And in my head, I know that wouldn't have got to 100 episodes, but at the same time, it would have been more focused. And I feel like that's what that show needed. A more focused a more focused thought process than just, oh, it's going to be this. I'm like, no. Even rewatching the pilot, it's hard to watch. It's hard to watch the pilot, knowing what's going to happen. Knowing what's going to happen for How I Met Your Mother, knowing the whole series, knowing what's going to happen with Ted. I can't stomach watching that season. I can't even stomach watching that season 1 opener. I can't. Not anymore. And people are like, oh, you like Barney? I'm like, yes, but I can't watch this. I can't even get past the first episode. That's not good if you can't get back and rewatch the season. But we're going to take a quick break here at WMSC and we're going to take a long break here at WMSC Upper Montclair, New Jersey, and we're going to talk more about stuff, more about geek stuff, and more about...
It's time for another WMSC featured movie. We all have a superhero inside us. It just takes a bit of magic to bring it out. In Billy Batson's case, by shouting out one word. Shazam! This streetwise 14-year-old foster kid can turn into the adult superhero Shazam. His newfound powers soon get put to the test when he squares off against the evil Dr. Thaddeus Savannah. The cast and crew of Shazam sat down to give their take on the characters and the film.
Every kid dreams about being Superman, and this is a kid who basically gets to become Superman. But he doesn't just get the superpowers; he also becomes an adult.
When I talked to David about it, he said, "Look, I think what we're trying to do is we're trying to make, something like the movie Big, but with superpowers." And I said, "You had me at Big with superpowers."
I feel like any boy, especially boy, who gains the power of being an adult is gonna be like, we should do things that only adults can do. Duh.
I'd like to purchase some of your finest beer, please.
Don't grow up too fast, kids.
Shazam is honestly one of very few superhero characters that is genuinely stoked to be a superhero.
Yeah, that's one of the unique aspects, that his power comes from magic. You know, he's not like Superman, who's an alien, or Wonder Woman, who's this Amazonian. Like it's magic that's real, and he gets his power from a wizard. It makes the world a little bit more unique.
They really did give me an opportunity to try and bring, this 13-year-old boy, Billy Batson, that kid inside me to life.
Freddy's like the superhero expert that Shazam needs, because he got turned into a superhero, but he didn't get a manual. And Freddy has to sort of act as his manual, his learning tool.
He's a total superhero fanatic, like extraordinary, knows everything. And so then when he finds out that Billy is a superhero, it like blows his mind. He's like, this is a dream come true.
Because he knows, like, okay, we have to test, if you have super strength, if you're invincible, if you have super speed, like, we have to test all these things. And you get to see that, of them partly just having fun, but also sort of discovering the abilities that Shazam have.
You have bullet immunity!
I saw the self-tapes that Sack sent in, which was also actually for a different character. And it was just right away, like, this guy could be Shazam. Like, he just feels and looks like Shazam.
He's perfect casting. I mean, I don't think he'd be cross with me for saying he is like a big kid. He can be like, he's so enthusiastic and
Like, oh, I have to save the world again. No,
has all of that energy. It's totally understandable to me why they cast him.
I'm proud of the cast. I think we just managed to find some really awesome people. Like the kids, how they work together, like the little foster family, with Martha and Cooper as the parents, and just, I mean, the whole movie sort of is carried by the cast.
Shazam is rated PG-13.
Hey guys, we're back here on Geekly, and I have a special guest, Harry Knowles.
Hey, how you doing, everybody?
I'm sorry, I thought it was Harry Knowles from Ain't It Cool News. Oops. I'm like, oh, I just made that mistake. I just made that mental mistake, because he kind of look like him. Oh, we're starting off. We're starting bad. Oh no. So, obviously I sent you the stuff.
Yeah.
The talking points. But, for those who do not know, I usually type up a script for each episode. It usually takes me about, an hour to figure out what the show is going to be like on the weekend. It's really fun, because I just listen to music and then I figure out what the show is going to be like.
No, that's good.
It's probably the most fun ever, because you just hear me, laughing my head off about small things. Earlier I was talking about How I Met Your Mother, how the series finale just doesn't, when you rewatch it again. Have you seen that show?
I'm going to be honest, I have not.
Okay. Basically, the series finale ruins the whole show. And my friend Alex doesn't think so.
But, how does it ruin the show? Does it, it kind of, makes a certain character, it makes the mother character pointless. Oh, the whole name of the show, How I Met Your Mother, like that.
Because,
wow.
Because basically, it's all. I'll get into spoilers. If you do not want to listen to me talking about How I Met Your Mother spoilers,
then turn it off.
Then turn it off for a few seconds. But for those, basically, he got with Robin. The whole story is about how he wanted to get with his other friend, and I'm like, that doesn't make sense. And then I watched the first season, and I watched the first episode, and I'm like, oh, I can't even watch the first episode again.
So basically, the finale, the series finale, kind of ruined the rest of the show. It kind of just made the whole show pointless. They just spent these millions of dollars. CBS spent these millions of dollars for nothing.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was one of those. It was one of those moments where it's just CBS just spent millions and millions of dollars getting to 100 episodes, getting to the point where they can actually syndicate the show. But they made the character of a certain character they made the character go back to season 1 and be like it's like the guy shouting from outside the window being like, I still love you.
Jeez.
It's like the guy still shouting out, he's like, I still love you so much. I'm like, no. I'm like, what are you
Nothing
doing?
like wasting people's time. I mean,
nothing like that. But I wanted to get into movie theater stories.
Yeah, of course.
Because we go to the movies a lot. Like, because me and you, so does Alex, but he's not here.
Yeah.
The invisible Alex.
He's here. He's not with us right now.
He's just not with us right now. But for those who do not know, we go to the movies a lot because we're film buffs. What is, like, let's run through the worst, the best, and the funniest, and I have work stories as well. I worked at a movie theater for
I didn't even know that.
for 3 years, for a couple of years.
Wow.
It was really fun. But two of them, one work story I can't say on the radio at all. But I'll share it off air. But for me, like, I love talking about movie theater memories because for me it's just so much fun. Because one time when I went to go see Thor Ragnarok, I was sitting in the theater, got my popcorn. It was like the opening night screening. This girl came in with her boyfriend. She sat down next to me, and I was with my other friend, and we're just like, the trailer started, and then the Star Wars trailer comes on, and then she said to her boyfriend, she said, "Is this Star Trek?"
Oh.
And I'm like, oh. And I laughed.
You don't make that mistake. Ooh.
I laughed right in front of her face.
Jeez.
And then, like, do you have something like that?
Oh, yeah. Oh, man.
Scene?
This was years ago. I had to have been in middle school, but George Lucas decided, hey, let's re-release Phantom Menace for like the 5th time.
Yeah.
But this time the gimmick is it's in 3D.
It's in 3D.
Oh man, it was only for like one weekend or like a month, only on the weekends. So I went opening night. Like I was like, me and my dad went.
Yeah.
We got there pretty late, so we had to sit in the front row. Which don't do that.
Don't ever do that.
Don't sit in the front row unless it's like an absolute necessity. You're looking up, you're craning your neck. It's not going well.
Nope.
So, and we were sitting there. We got there a little late. Now, we were, I think, like 3 rows from the front. And behind us, there was like this whole line of kids.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Man, they didn't stop talking for a single second. Like, even during the trailers, all of a sudden, I remember, like, the video cut out, but the audio was still playing for some reason.
Yeah.
It's like, and they're like screaming, where's the video? What the heck's going on? During the movie, it's, I lost my shoe. I want more popcorn. I need more drink. Mommy, I need a hug. Like, it's like, stop. Tell your kids to stop.
See, for me, I had this one time when I was working at the movie theater, and I had to clean up after a movie, and somebody left a pair of pants.
A pair of pants?
Yes.
Did it just scare the pants off of them? Like,
no,
what?
No, I don't want to say. It's just like I picked it up with the broom and just threw it in the trash because I'm like,
I hope you didn't take it home. I mean,
no,
I don't want to know what else's pants.
I don't want anybody else's pants. Like, and then the other thing is when I went to go see, I think, oh my gosh, I went to go see Deadpool. I went to see I have really bad Deadpool stories. Like, when I went to go see this movie, the first Deadpool, in IMAX.
Ooh.
So, you wanna know what was sitting across from me? A couple seats across from me was a 9-year-old kid.
Why would
the first Deadpool? Give your thought process of like the first Deadpool movie and how appropriate it is for kids.
Well, first of all, it was rated R.
Yeah.
That's got to be on the parental discretion.
Yeah, and then,
obviously the parents weren't doing their job properly.
No, they weren't. Oh no, And then the funny thing is, that's not even the worst one. Whereas I went to go see Deadpool 2. So
that one's tamer. That one's a lot tamer. It's not as dirty, I guess, as the first one.
So guess what? I had a whole family sit next to me. Like a whole like a little kid, like all that stuff. Like the mother brought a stroller to the theater. Like I'm like, why? I'm like, this movie's not even appropriate. And then the best opening joke was, this movie is a family film.
Well, because I remember like all the like what you were talking with the kid, like a lot of these families were taking their kids thinking, oh, this is just another Marvel movie. It's PG and everything. But then it ended up being this like R-rated fest of problems. So they clamored for a PG-13 rating. I remember this. I remember going, that's kind of dumb. You're going to force the filmmaker to redo their movie because it didn't pander to the kids. Not every movie's got to pander to kids.
For me, like, the funny thing is, like, I like, the weirdest thing is when you work at a movie theater, you understand the mess of people. Like the mess that people make. I used to work as an usher. So to give you an idea, an usher cleans up after people.
Yeah.
We're gonna take a quick break, and we'll get back to that stories. Because I have to take a quick break. And welcome back to Geekly. I'm your host Trevor, here with Harry.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Hey. So give yourself a brief introduction to those who do not know you on Geekly.
Well, I'm Harry. I'm a film student here at Montclair State. Is that brief enough?
Yeah, that's brief.
Cool.
So, obviously, one of the more interesting things is when you work at a movie theater, you realize people are very messy. When I say that, I mean like I have to basically sweep up a room like snow.
Oh, yeah, it's because all the popcorn gets stuck.
Oh, no, it's like this. I actually took a picture of like one of the messes. It's like I had to sweep it and I secretly took a picture. And the picture is like of popcorn bundled up like snow, like a snow mound.
What? They just dumped their popcorn and said, "Oh well," and got up and left.
Yeah. That's what happens sometimes. I'm just like the funniest thing is like you would have kids I had one time where a kid had a 10-second delay, let's say that.
Okay.
10-second delay in his brain, so he didn't realize where he was.
Let's not touch that one right now.
No. But he just wasn't like all there.
All right, well, that's fine.
I'm good.
Hey, that's okay if you are. No, we're not making fun of you or anything.
I'm gonna dump that.
Let's move on from that.
Yeah.
Oh man, I have another bad time from the movies since we're still talking about movie theaters.
Yeah.
Oh man. Every now and then they'd have this thing called Fathom Events with the TCM Turner Classic Movies. They bring back a classic movie.
I've tried to go to those.
Those are really fun to go to.
Yeah.
Oh man, what was it? Was that I remember I saw like The Godfather on the big screen that way. I saw what's that? Sunset Boulevard. That's a movie worth watching. You don't have to see it on the big screen. Mm-hmm. But I remember we went and saw North by Northwest. It was like one of the first times we went to these.
Yeah.
So we're sitting there. The movie I think was starting at like 4:00 or something. So we were sitting there. All of a sudden, like 4:10, 4:15 comes. Nothing. The screen isn't moving. It's just the blank regular screen. Come to find out, they done messed up up in the projection room. Like the projector must have like died or something. Like it just.
Oh no.
Yeah. So we're sitting there. Nothing. Like no words from anyone there. We're all sitting there. People are like, "What's going on? I want my money back." And I'm sitting there going, like, I paid $15 for this seat. I ain't giving it up. So finally, the movie did come on. It was worth the watch on the big screen. And Hitchcock's films are only really good on the big screen, in my opinion. But hey, it each their own.
Yeah. For me, I went to like the crazy thing is like the funniest thing was when I went to go see Godzilla in 2014, I got in the Godzilla hype mode, and when I get in the Godzilla hype mode, I just want to see Godzilla. So all of a sudden, like the fire alarms go off in the theater.
What?
Yeah, like all the fire alarms go off in AMC Garden State Plaza. So I'm like thinking for a second, is Godzilla real? Is Godzilla gonna come? Oh
my god.
So I'm like, yeah, Godzilla.
That's it.
I'm just like, but then I realized, it's just some one of the workers burned popcorn. He just burned popcorn. I'm like, yeah, that could happen.
Yeah.
I'm like, the funny thing is like, burning popcorn never happened at my movie theater.
Really? Because
we were so good about like doing the popcorn and knowing how to actually do it.
I guess if you actually know your job and you know what you're doing, it.
At AIM, like I'm not saying anything bad about the certain theater that I went to, but let's just say their workers are just like, they don't seem like they're happy there.
Yeah.
Like have you ever
that's like, because there's a little tiny theater. I won't say the name. I'll keep the place. Yeah. But like like this. It's like a 3-theater. Theater, like it's only 3 screens, so really and truly, they only get the films that are popular, or they don't really get a lot of like what like AMC does, where they get all of them. Man, they just don't really look like they like their jobs. Like, I remember we went and saw when it was a Quiet Place. Me and my mom went and saw it, And like, we got there early. I like getting there early, like to get a good seat. And like, what we got was attitude for showing up like 15 minutes early. It's like, yo, like, I like getting a good seat. I don't want to sit up front. I mean,
my one of my friends, I'll not name names, but one of my friends likes sitting up front. And I told him once, I said, I'm not sitting up front for any movie ever. He's like, nah, it's good, man. Then you get the whole screen. I'm like, what are you talking about? You're just gonna get a creak in your neck.
Yeah, you're just gonna get a creak in your neck. And even then, with like the Phantom Menace, when I sat up in the front, like all I really saw was like part of the picture. Like it didn't even seem like the full saturation of the colors was coming through. It was just
like even Phantom Menace is just like, I want to be a pod racer.
Well, yet again, I mean, it is Phantom Menace, so
it's just like, I want to be a pod racer. And the best thing is, like, remember those Tusken Raiders from the pod racing scene? Somebody in Rift Track called them NASCAR fans.
Well, I mean, I guess that is what pod racing is. It's not like it's
it's kind of like NASCAR.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Because it's just like, for me, it's just like, it was like, and like, I'll show you the clip later, but it's just like, it's one of the funniest things ever. He's like, NASCAR fans.
Do you have any best times at the theaters?
I have really good times. For me, when I went to see the opening midnight premiere of Avengers Endgame, the first Avengers movie.
Oh, the first one, the original one, yeah.
So I saw that midnight premiere. The next day I had to go to school, but the funny thing is, I was so pumped up to watch it that I actually brought my Captain America shield.
Okay.
And it's like life size.
Oh, what?
And I made fun of a guy for bringing like a little kid's shield. He's like, I said, look at my shield.
You're making someone feel bad because they don't got a lot of money. That's not very nice. Oh.
I wasn't very nice in high school.
Hey, man.
Hey, man, nobody.
I don't know if I really had any good times. Like, I've had fun times at the movies.
And I've also, the crazy thing was, when that movie started, one guy ran into the theater, and he started chanting, Avengers, the Avengers.
Well, like, was it like one of the movie workers?
No, he's just a random guy.
Oh.
He
just ran away? Like,
and he just ran into, like, the seats. I'm like, what? I'm just like, okay.
That's kind of weird.
That was kind of weird.
Ugh.
But, for me, like, my favorite thing is, like, going to see, like, the first ever premiere of, like, the midnight premieres were so awesome to watch. Like, they were so awesome to watch until The Dark Knight Rises.
I didn't like The Dark Knight Rises.
I didn't like The Dark Knight Rises either.
I also really didn't like Batman Begins either. I really liked The Dark Knight.
Yeah.
It's just I guess it's just a personal thing, but I thought The Dark Knight was just a lot tighter than its predecessor and successor.
Like, for me, when I watched The Dark Knight, I actually saw it in theaters as a kid.
Oh, okay.
In 2008.
Oh, okay.
So I was probably really little, so I probably didn't understand what was going on. So I'm like, look, it's Batman. Oh no, it's Joker.
Oh no.
I'm just like sitting there as a little kid, and it's like, when will the movie end?
You couldn't get the deep talk about society and living in a society.
That's my favorite thing, is like, as a kid, I'm just like, yeah,
we do live in a society.
Yeah, we do live in a society. And the best thing was, I saw the midnight premiere of Harry Potter. That was really fun.
Which one? The Dark? What's that?
Part 2. I think Part 2. But I don't know off the top of my head.
I didn't see any of the Harry Potter movies in theaters.
But me and my brother are like big Harry Potter fans.
Okay.
So me and my brother is surprisingly like really into like some stuff, like some pop culture stuff. Not everything.
They need to stop playing the Harry Potter movies every weekend.
I know, on like the USA and like
USA, Freeform and all those. Hey, if you're listening, stop it.
Stop it.
You're watering down the bass and making it not as much fun.
No, we're gonna take a quick break here at WMSC.
What's up, people? I'm Patrick Ketty, and you need to tune into my show on Thursdays, 7 to 10 p.m. on 90.3 WMSC. Stop and Stroll Radio, where I bring you the best ska, punk, and rock and roll. Ska is not dead, and I'm here to prove it to you. Tune in every Thursday, 7 to 10 p.m., anywhere in the world on WMSCRadio.com or the iHeartRadio app, or if you're here with us in Montclair, 90.3 on the FM radio dial. I'll see you there.
And we're back here on Geekly. Welcome back to Geekly. I think that it's just okay, but I have to catch my breath for a second.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
I'm totally like I'm just like, oh. after that fun talk of like Harry Potter marathons. Harry Potter marathons are just weird. Like they just keep playing them, and they're just like, see the Fantastic Beasts on USA Network.
Why?
I'm like, why?
I got part of it, and I thought it was horrible.
So we're going to get into an interesting topic, which is something that I know you know personally about, which is movie theater subscription service.
Ooh, yeah.
And as my Instagram thing was the movie pass being snapped away like Thanos. Yo. No, it's like perfectly balanced as all things should be, yo.
If you haven't seen Thanos Ernie, watch it.
It's like, was this your home? It was, yo. And it was beautiful, yo. Oh no.
Oh,
I can't wait to do that during the movie of Avengers Endgame at the end of the movie. Be like, perfectly balanced as all things should be, yo.
Oh.
Be like, when everybody's crying, be like, perfectly balanced as all things should be, yo. You should have gone for the head, yo.
Alright, so movie pass.
Before we got into like an Irwin impression thing. Yeah. I showed them a video last night. It was really funny.
Oh.
And we kept talking about it during the whole thing, during the whole like film forum last night.
Alright, so movie pass. Yeah, I myself actually did have the movie pass. I remember I got an email. It was through No Film School. Sign up for their emails. It's really, really worth it.
Yeah.
Gives you some really nice, interesting links. But I remember I saw that. I'm like, ooh, $10 a month? See a movie a day for every day? Like
that sounds like a great system. I said to my brother, that's gonna fail.
Oh, I knew it was gonna fail.
I knew it.
See, I will say this though, it was actually, I was able to see movies at like AMC in my local movie theaters, and I remember the one local movie theater literally had it advertised on their website. Yeah, we take movie pass. It was literally a selling point. Like,
yeah.
The idea of making it $10 a month, I get why, because it really did build up that subscriber base. But what they should have done was like 3 or 4 months into it, because obviously they're tracking what you're seeing and they're tracking how you're seeing it and how much you're using it. What they should have done, 3 months into it, was been, okay, so you've seen the notes, you only really see like 2 or 3 movies a week.
Yeah.
What we'll do is for a couple dollars more, you can still keep the service, but then it'll only be 3 movies a week. Or you could pay like $26 a month. I'm just pulling a number out.
Yeah.
And you could still see the unlimited movies if you still want that option.
Like, I feel like that's what they should have done.
Oh,
like it's one of those things where I'm just like, now AMC is doing it, now other companies are doing it.
Yeah.
Because they realize it's a good idea.
No, it is. I have the AMC A-list myself. Like, it's...
But like, for me, like, the reason why I didn't get Movie Pass is because I knew it was going to fail. Because of the $10 thing.
See, I knew it was going to fail, but that still kind of drove me to get it. Was because it's $10 a month. An average movie ticket is like $10. Like
it's like $10.
$12. So it's like basically you go and see one movie a month. It's paid for. And anything after that is pure profit for you. Yeah. They lost. Oh man, they probably lost a lot of money. But I think Movie Pass is still somewhat around too.
Yeah.
Like I don't understand how.
Like it's like one of those it's still around, but you don't know if it's still on life. It's like on life support right now.
It's on super life support if it's still even available.
It's still even available. It's probably like clinging to like the fact that it's still.
It's just those like 2 people who are like, it's still good.
It's still good, guys. It's still good. Like the guy like there's a video of like a guy who was like the founder of MySpace, and nobody's there anymore. and he's like, guys,
we're still here.
We're still here.
Don't leave.
Please don't.
Please, I need the help.
But my favorite thing is like the fact that the reason why I didn't buy into it was the fact that I knew it was gonna fail from day one.
Oh yeah.
Like a couple days, like I realized this is what they need to do after month 2. They probably need to do that. They start to wean people out.
Yeah.
And even though that's really mean of me to say that, but it was one of those things where I'm just like, they really need to do that.
It's just a basic economic principle. You need to be able to cut it loose when it needs to be cut loose. I mean,
yeah, for me, like if that's the main thing with it. Like I like the AMC's A-list app, but I don't know like if I'm ever gonna get into it. But
I will defend the A-list because I mean, if you don't know the AMC A-list, you pay like I think it's like $25, $26. I think the price is going to go up to almost $30 in this area, which I'm fine with paying. Because like with it, you can see your standard movies, but then you can also still see. You can also
IMAX.
then go IMAX at Dolby Cinema, their 3D, the big 3D. There's a couple of films every week that are usually not. They're excluded from it. Like the Fathom events most of the time are, and they do like these sometimes movie theaters, like the one near me does these like live events. Mm-hmm. It just for some odd reason that's not counted. Which I don't know why you'd go to a movie theater to see a live event, but
like the Metropolitan Opera. Thing?
Yeah, like why? Like I said, to each their own, but
to each their own. But for me, like whenever I go to the movie theater and see those ads for like the Metropolitan Opera is doing the
they're doing Hamlet in an opera form.
They're doing Hamlet in an opera form, or the I forget. There's so many weird operas. Yeah. Like it's so weird. Like
well, that was a part of the culture for a lot of countries.
I've seen opera. I've seen one opera. I'm just like, yeah, this is not for me.
Yeah.
I'm like, and it's just like, I don't know if it's for me. It's just the fact that I just don't like it.
Yeah, like I said, like we said, to each their own.
But for me, like the AMC A-list, like it sounds very appealing.
No, it's very appealing.
And like for me, I enjoy. Like recently, I went. My area is like Demrest.
Yeah.
Which has AMC Riverside, AMC Starplex, AMC. Like basically, it's live AMC's, but there's going to be a Regal coming to Paramus Park.
Oh.
Which is crazy.
Yeah.
Which is awesome.
Do they have their own too, or?
What? Yeah, they do.
Yeah. I don't got any near me for Regal.
I'm just happy that I want an Alamo Drafthouse in New Jersey.
Yeah.
I really do. People are like, why do you want one in New Jersey? I'm like, because then I wouldn't have to drive to Yonkers to go to one.
Yeah.
Or Brooklyn.
I'm
like, and people are like, no, Brooklyn's not that far. I'm like, you're crazy. I'm like, Brooklyn's far.
Yeah, a lot of buses. I don't want to be on the bus.
I don't want to be on the bus in New York City.
Lord knows what happens on those buses.
Lord knows. Like, New Jersey Transit buses are interesting, but New York City buses, no.
Ooh, no. I'd rather walk.
I'm like, nope. Like for me, the crazy thing is, like, when I look at tickets in New York City, they're way more expensive.
Well, it's just because it's New York City.
Yeah.
It's automatically expensive to be in New York City because it's New York City.
Yeah. But for me, the funny thing is, like, that's the interesting thing is, like, when I go to, I know, like, for me, like, the movie theater subscriptions are just interesting. They're just so interesting. Right?
Yeah. I like them. I've seen.
Well, it's top of the hour here at WMSC Upper Montclair. It is now almost 2 p.m. Almost 2 p.m. It's there. 2 p.m. 2 p.m. Yeah. On the nose. 2 p.m. It's here at WMSC Upper Montclair. And we're back with our conversation. But obviously, I find it interesting. In my opinion, it's just interesting. Like, I don't find it bad. I don't find it good. It's just, for me, it's just
like you're in that weird middle of it.
There
are parts of it I get why they're doing it, but it's also like you're going to lose a lot of money.
Yeah, for me, like, that's what I said about MoviePass, and that's what I said to my brother. I said, the MoviePass thing will work if done right. And that's what I said.
Done right.
And I said to him, If done right, it would work. If not done right, it would work. It would be like one of the best things to watch because it just would be watching the slowest car crash ever happen.
Yeah, I know, it's weird.
It's like weird. It's surprisingly weird. Like, it's not like weird in the sense where it's just like it doesn't make sense. It's weird in the sense that it doesn't like Movie Pass was the one where it's just like it started it all, but I'm just like Regal already had it, but it's just like for me, like I think Movie Pass just tried to do something, but
it brought this concept of these
streaming,
these like these platforms to try and get more people out to the movies. So
yeah,
it's probably just a Hollywood plot, but that's not the point.
But we're gonna take a quick break here at WMSC Upper Montclair, New Jersey.
Major key alert. Don't ever play yourself. Life is like school. You will be tested, so pass it.
Learn the real major keys to getting to college at GetSchooled.com.
Stay focused. Now that's a major key alert.
Brought to you by Get Schooled and the Ad Council.
Hey, this is Joe from The Fray, and you are listening to 90.3 WMSC.
Hey guys, we're back here at Geekly. Welcome back. I'm here with one of my good friends, Harry.
Hey, how's it going, everybody?
And it's a very interesting episode today. Very interesting, right?
Yeah, I'd say so.
But we're going to get into the Geek Pulse, which is the geek news of the week.
Okay.
Because there's not much geek news, but there is some fun stuff going on. Basically, I showed you yesterday the 5-minute footage.
Yeah, yes, from the IMAX trailer. Yeah.
The 5-minute footage that I saw in IMAX. Let's say that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But for those who do not know, Godzilla King of All Monsters is coming out May 31st. And for
not
me,
sponsored, by the way.
Not sponsored, by the way. Not sponsored. But I can't wait to watch it. It looks very insane. It looks like very much like a monster opera movie. Like, it looks like it's going to be like Clash of like all monsters, and it's going to be so much fun to watch in theaters, and I'm probably going to have multiple freakouts in theaters.
Real talk, every time the trailer comes on,
yeah.
Whenever I go to the movie theater, I swear, every movie I've gone to, always right before the movie begins, they always play the trailer. This the standard 2-minute long trailer. You got the woman, she's like talking on the ham radio going, hey, is anyone there? Hello? I want to help. Stuff like that. But, like, every time, always when Godzilla and the three-headed monster, I'm not very good with the monster movies. So every time I just start laughing. Like, I can't explain why I laugh. It's just, I'm just breaking out in like almost uncontrollable laughter, just how like fun it looks. It just looks like so much fun was just put onto screen for a general movie audience to see and not feel like they need to watch the original Japanese versions.
Yeah. And I think that's what I like about it. It just seems like it's going to be very fun. And I think that's what I wanted this movie to be, like a very fun monster movie.
Yeah.
And for me, I saw the footage. It was really awesome. Probably one of the coolest things I've watched in a while. I cried almost multiple times during that thing because it was just so beautiful because of how, like, during the WonderCon panel footage, they said, like, how Mothra is, like, should be treated as a goddess. I'm like, yeah, that's awesome, yes. I'm like, yes, you're speaking what Godzilla should be like.
Yeah.
What the Godzilla film should be like. Not the 2014 one. and people are like, you don't like the 2014 one? I'm like, no. And they're like, why not? I'm like, the last 5 minutes, the last 10 minutes, the last 20 minutes of the movie is just Godzilla. And then people say to me, and then people are like, oh, it's good. I'm like, no, you just see Godzilla for 7 minutes in that movie.
Just 7 minutes. It's called Godzilla, and he's there for 7 minutes.
And we have to deal with the human storyline. And just for a thought process, the human storyline in that movie is not as interesting as people say it is. It is not.
Well, I'm going to see a Godzilla movie. Why should I care?
I'm like, why? I'm seeing a Godzilla movie. To give you context, Godzilla movies should be 50% humans and more Godzilla.
And destroying cities.
And people say to me, oh, but that's not what people want. I'm like, I don't care what people want. Godzilla should be like a Godzilla movie, a monster movie first, then a human storyline.
And then you could say, I remember one time. Okay, I'm going to get sidetracked. I promise you this will come back.
Yeah.
I remember one time we were watching, me and my brother, we were just scrolling through the movie channels on the satellite TV. And it was like I think it was a Mothra movie.
Yeah.
It was in complete Japanese, which is fine. And it was subtitled English. I'm like, all right, that's fine. What do I care? Yeah, let's watch a monster movie. It was definitely like exactly what you said, like half and half.
Yeah.
But like it had this dumb twist at the end.
Oh.
Where it was supposed to be like an environmental movie. like they were trying to care, and I'm sitting there going, I'm watching this Mothra character, I don't remember who it was, just destroying cities, and you're going, yeah, don't pollute, guys. It hurts.
You got that's even as bad. That's almost as bad as Godzilla versus the Smog Monster.
I haven't seen that.
Oh, that one's like, I should show you that one. That one will actually make you laugh and make you question what you're doing.
I'm already questioning what I'm doing in life anyways. So
No, it just has weird scenes, like really weird scenes, like scenes where people have fish on their heads. I don't know.
Okay.
I have no clue what's going on in that movie.
Yeah.
But getting back to Godzilla. But for me, like, that footage was amazing. It looked really good. I can't wait to see what the full movie's going to be. And I'm probably going to watch it in IMAX.
No, yeah.
Definitely. And next up is something that I found really funny, which the Avengers Endgame tickets are on eBay.
Yo.
And some of them, oh boy. Some of them are so funnily priced, and I think some of them are jokes.
Well,
I think some of them are jokes. I don't want to, like, one was $500 for an IMAX 3D ticket.
Jeez.
And I'm like, why?
Yet again, though, like, I know we talked about this before, but the problem is, though, there's a market for this.
I understand.
This is something you and I both, I know, very much disagree on.
I understand there's a market for it. But for me, I just find it so funny at the same time. I'm like, why would you sell your ticket? I think.
Wow! I'm just looking up. I apologize. I'm on eBay right now looking at them. Let's see. Opening night. If you're out in by the Dolby Digital at Quail Springs Mall in Oklahoma City.
Yeah,
you can have the great offer of seeing it for $2,500. And to top it off, there are 18 watchers watching this right now.
Oh,
so,
my.
Yeah. Hey, those 18 people, you're going to get robbed.
Let's see. A movie should be priced around.
Oh, even better. $12,000. It's for 7 tickets. That's wow. Let me break out the credit card, guys.
Let me break out But for me, like, I just find it so funny that the most expensive ticket is $12,000. $12,000. To give you an idea, normally tickets should be priced around like
$20.
Like $20.
For an IMAX, it's that's $20.
For IMAX, and then for Dolby, like $20 as well.
Yeah.
People are selling them, and then scalpers are selling them for $12,000.
See, but yet again, though, like, I know that that's opportunity always shows itself, and that's how these people can really make a dang quick buck. Is off of. I know if I had realized, and I know if the websites didn't crash, and I actually had the money, I wouldn't charge $12,000 for 7 tickets. That to me is those type of people are horrible. Don't do it. Don't do it, kids.
Don't do it, kids.
But like 7 tickets, I'd sell for $600.
Yeah.
What's that? Like $80 a ticket, $90 a ticket. I'm not good with math. I think that's pretty obvious. So.
Yeah. But for me, like the funny thing is, like when I watch that, I'm just like, it's funny at the same time because I already have my tickets. Because I just feel bad for those people who have to watch those eBay tickets.
But yet again, though, you're also trusting eBay, so
yeah.
Lord knows that these tickets are even real. Like,
yeah, Lord knows.
It's like buying concert tickets off of Craigslist. Don't do it. Like all you're doing is you're losing money to be screwed over in the end run.
For me, those tickets are very interesting. And next up is something that I said to you yesterday, which is Grease is getting a prequel called Summer Loving.
Ooh. That's just what I want to see.
That's just what I want to see. Like,
even though, it was totally within the first 10 minutes of the movie.
It was in the first 10 minutes of this movie.
The film opens with a really badly done of John Travolta and Olivia Newton-John kissing by the waves as it's the last day of summer, because this is the last time they're ever going to see each other. It was a great summer lovin'. As the song goes, summer lovin' happens so fast. Why?
Why?
Well, okay, I can tell you exactly why.
I can probably tell you. It's probably going to be like
Money.
one of. You want to know what the funny thing is? It should be like an hour long, and it should just be that.
It should just be a joke. It's just hey, lol, yeah, we screwed you out of money. Now you get to sit and watch the blank screen, and we locked the theater door so you can't leave.
No, the best thing would be like is the fact that it would open with Summer Loving, and that's it.
Hey, thanks for the $20. No. See, this is what they should do for it. Follow me on this, right?
Yeah.
They get current age, John Travolta and Olivia Newton-John, right?
Yeah.
They're in their 60s or 70s. I don't remember. I don't know if
their
age is very old. You get them to act like they're 16 years old.
Yeah.
Like they're still teenage lovers finding each other for the first time ever. Hey, you got John Travolta still coming off of the greatest hit of the best mafia movie of all time, Gotti. He's so he's just so he's like, hey, how's it going on here? And then they try singing, Summer Lovin' and all those other songs.
And then John Travolta's voice cracks.
Hey, how's it going, everybody?
It's just like he tries to sing and he's like, oh wait, I can't sing anymore.
Actually, funny story about that John Travolta. Yeah. I actually went to elementary school with a cousin of his.
Really?
Honest to God, her last name was Travolta.
Yeah.
It was basically a very unkept secret that she was related to him. That's just always interesting to me sometimes. That you never know who you meet and who they're related to. So be nice to everybody,
Yeah.
This is the anti-bullying segment now. You're never allowing me on your show again. I already know it.
No, it's fine. It's fine. You're okay.
Oh, cool.
But
I might be back, guys.
You might be back. But obviously, the other thing that I find funny is Netflix in talks to buy the Egyptian theater. The Egyptian theater in Hollywood.
Why?
I don't know why. Like I've said that to myself. I'm like, why are they buying the Egyptian theater?
They already. Why is it because Steven Spielberg attacked them, saying, "Oh, they shouldn't be nominated for Oscars. They're not real movies." It's like, buddy, when you make a good movie and when you've never made a good movie, you don't have a right to speak. So
yeah.
Well, I'm getting in trouble now.
Don't worry. I don't think.
The only good, I have not seen Schindler's List, so I've heard Schindler's List is really good. I haven't seen it, but the only good Spielberg movie is the first 20 minutes of Saving Private Ryan. That's it.
That's it. That's it.
I think that's something you and I could both kind of agree on.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. I really can't get kicked off the show now.
Nope. So we're gonna take a quick break here in WMSC Upper Montclair, and then we're gonna play a song. Actually, Ooh, a song. Yeah, a song. I just have to pull it up.
Ooh.
But we'll be back here in Montclair. And what is up, guys? Welcome back to Geekly. We're back here on WMC Upper Montclair, New Jersey. That was a long break because I needed to just give myself a break, right, Harry?
Fine. Yeah, that's fine.
You always have to give yourself a break if it's because this show is 3 hours normally. It's 3 hours.
Yeah, oof.
And it's long. and when you put it into perspective, people are like, is that hard? I'm like, yeah, it is, but it's just you pace it out.
Yeah.
It's like a film. You have to pace it out.
Yeah, gotta have good pacing.
Gotta have good pacing.
Yeah.
Unlike that thing.
The Hurt Locker.
No, yeah. But,
let's move on.
Obviously, we're going to get into the last piece of news for Geek Pulse, which is the fact that the Lion King trailer released, and it looks okay.
Yeah.
It looks just okay. I know Harry told me,
Yeah.
It's just,
I'm kind of sick and tired of the whole Disney rebooting their movies and trying to do.
I don't like the Dumbo one. The Dumbo one doesn't make sense. And have you seen Tim Burton recently?
Yeah, he ain't doing good.
He ain't doing good. I think he's sick in some way, shape, or form.
Well, yeah.
He's definitely
sick of making the same 5 movies.
I feel like he's just he's like, why have I done this with my life? I don't know. But
Yeah, like I said, I'm getting very, very sick and tired of these Disney reboots. Like,
Yeah.
all they're doing is they know that they can spend $100 million on a remake of this movie, make triple that back, and then proceed to spend it all on the next one. Like, I personally think it kind of goes away from Walt Disney's original vision of the company, where you would try, you wouldn't take the money and do dumb things with it. You would try and make it so that way there's more fun with it. Also, not to mention the early Disney stuff was a lot better, but except the 90s. The 90s had good stuff when they came back in the Disney Renaissance, they call it.
Yeah, that Disney Renaissance was good.
Yeah.
But for me, like, obviously, I just find like things like that, like Toy Story 4, like people like I'm excited to watch it, but
I want to see it too,
but I'm just like, was it worth it?
No.
Like
the third one ended okay.
Like the third one ended perfectly.
Yeah, it wrapped the series up, and then like I know they made a couple of TV specials, like the Toy Story that Time Forgot, and like the Halloween special.
Yeah.
If they just did that,
yeah,
I wouldn't mind. It's like, all right, fine.
I've said that in my earlier shows of like, if they want to do this stuff, I'm fine with that because I won't watch it because I'm not in the mood to watch those things anymore.
But like just trying to be like, it's because they make billions and trillions of dollars just on the toys alone. You make way more money on the merchandise.
Those toys, Buzz and Woody freaked me out as kids.
Really?
Yes, because of their eyes.
Yeah,
their eyes were just like 100-yard stare staring into you.
Yeah, but what toy doesn't look at you like that, though? I mean,
no, it's not that. It's just it was just more like creepy.
Yeah, true.
It was a little bit creepy, especially that toy from Japan, the creepy Woody doll, where he can move his face and everything.
No, yeah.
But going into the horror topic, which is jump scares.
Oh.
Which I'm just like, for me, as much as I say I would watch a horror movie, I don't like movies with jump scares.
I don't either.
I think they're pointless. I think they're just a cheap gimmick.
Well, that's what they're saying. They're just trying to get scares out of people. They're not trying to...
Like with the first Paranormal Activity. The first.
See, I've never seen the Paranormal Activities
No,
movies.
I've never seen the Paranormal Activities. Okay. It's just, for me, like, jump scares in that movie are so frequent that they always happen.
Well, like A Quiet Place. I didn't like A Quiet Place because I felt like it was too reliant on the jump scares.
It actually didn't feel like that for me.
Really?
No.
Huh.
Because it just didn't bother me.
Yeah. Because the problem is, though, is now since, like, every horror movie has jump scares in it.
It's just like, boo.
It's just like, whoa, scary. It's like, stop. Like,
it's like Alfred Hitchcock says, you want surprise or you want suspense.
Yeah, you don't.
You want, like, suspense builds the tension and suspense builds the scene. And then when you just do surprise, it's just a cheap gimmick.
I remember once my friend had shown me a YouTube video. Yeah. I don't remember who it was from.
Was it that prank YouTube video of the ghost of like the girl just popping up being like, boo?
No, this was more about like the concept of jump scares in horror movies and how like it's kind of, because what the problem is though is you're building all this tension to this like jump try to freak you out of your seat a bit.
Yeah.
But like it kind of goes back, like it's kind of going against the original concept of what a horror movie was.
Yeah.
Where like Halloween, for example, like it had really good tension. Yeah. Building up with a very, like, you can have a couple of jump scares, that's fine.
Yeah.
But, like, when you make a jump scare, like, oh, it's just my boyfriend, oh, ha, 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 and then Michael comes out of nowhere.
This is why when I make my horror movie, I'm not going to do jump scares.
No, don't.
I'm like, people who say, like, oh, if you do a horror movie, what you're going to do with it? I'm like, I'm going to make a horror movie that's built on the fact that it's tension and suspense.
That's what the horror movie should be. They shouldn't be.
And this is why I think people like us, like no pun intended. It took you a second. You're just like, oh.
That had too many jump scares. It didn't need them either.
It didn't need them.
It didn't need them.
It felt like, for me, us at times felt like, I've said this before. It's just, for me, it's just like, it has a good message to it. But it just doesn't, like, at points it doesn't, like, understand how to make that message easy to understand for people.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's the main problem with it. Like, it has a really interesting message to it, but the problem is, like, you can't exactly convey it as well.
Yeah.
And I think that was the problem with the movie.
We won't, because that movie's still fresh out. It's still fresh in theaters.
No, I spoiled it last week.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Oh. Oops.
Yeah. Oops. But
Yeah.
I said for me the scene that towards the end was just like.
Spoiler talk, by the way, everybody, if you haven't seen the movie.
If you read into it, it just made more sense.
Really? When I read into it more, it more confused me.
Like I had Wikipedia open when I was watching the movie.
Well, you're talking about the scene where in the therapist office? Is that what you're talking about?
No, with us.
Yeah.
No, I'm talking about the so like basically during the movie I was alone in the theater and I was sitting in the back row.
Mm-hmm.
So I just pulled up Wikipedia.
Oh.
People are like, "How could you understand this movie?" I'm just like, I kind of cheated a little bit.
Yeah.
Because looking at Wikipedia explains things a lot better.
Oh yeah.
And it's just like it does.
Yeah, well, it does.
It's just like even though I don't like it at times, I'm like, for horror movies that don't make sense, yes, I have to pull that up.
Yeah.
For A Quiet Place, it made perfect sense.
Like that.
In my way, like I think I had it at like number 6 or number 5 in my top 10 list of 2018.
Hey.
It wasn't great. It wasn't like the best horror movie ever.
No.
But it wasn't like, for me, like Halloween was a little bit better.
See, I didn't see Halloween.
Halloween was like a little bit more like, yeah, it had jump scares, but the scenes in the movie were actually a little bit more interesting than A Quiet Place.
Oh, okay.
For me.
Oh,
because
right.
they actually did a tracking shot from the original movie, which I really loved that.
Oh.
That they did that.
Okay.
So for me,
sorry, apologies. My favorite Halloween movie is Season of the Witch. The one that
really?
Honestly, it's so dumb.
Yeah.
That I just love it.
I love that movie too.
Because it's just.
it's like one of those movies that just doesn't.
It doesn't make a lick of sense.
It doesn't make a lick of sense, and people said, "Would you want?" I'm like, the problem with one and I said that me and Alex talked about this once. If you edited together 1 and 2, it would have been fine.
Yeah.
It would have been like, I said, if they wanted to do an anthology movie series, they could have had 1 and 2. They could have done 1 and 2 back to back, and they could have edited together.
Yeah.
And made one long night. That's what it would have been like.
Yeah.
And then they could have done Halloween 2 as Halloween Season of the Witch, and then other anthology.
And then just kind of made these like concepts in the style of Michael Myers, whatever the heck they were trying to go for.
Yeah, that would have been better.
No,
right?
It would have been.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, and then people are like, no, that doesn't make sense. I'm like, it does make sense if you think about it, because the whole movie, if you take a break, like let's say if I was doing Halloween 1 and Halloween 2, I wouldn't do them as like if I knew Halloween 1 was going to be a success, I would have added together 1 and 2.
Yeah.
And I would not have such a long break between 1 if I knew it was going to be a success.
Yeah.
I would have just said, listen, we're going to keep this for a little bit, and then we're going to edit together part Halloween 2, and then we're going to re-release it as Halloween the Long Night. That would have been more interesting.
No, it would have been.
Because in my head, I'm like, seeing that, I'm just like, me and Alex talked about that once. We said it would have been way more interesting if they did and they would have actually gone away with doing an anthology series.
You know what Halloween movie I really hated though?
Halloween Resurrection.
I remember Halloween H2O.
Halloween H2O.
They made a second one of those.
It was Halloween Resurrection.
Oh, that was Halloween Resurrection?
With Busta Rhymes.
Yo, and it's like it's supposed to be like this internet cult or something.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I forgot the name of the movie. I rember it was like the second one of the reboot.
It was Halloween Resurrection. That movie. Oh, that movie.
Oh.
That movie has 2 of the best lines that I can't repeat at all.
Yeah, well,
but
PG for you guys.
But for me, I love the one. That whole movie is just weird.
No, it is.
It's weird. It tries to be like the Blair Witch Project.
Yeah.
And I think that was the problem with it.
You know they made a second Blair Witch Project?
I know they did.
Yeah, it was horrible.
It was horrible.
Horrible.
Because I feel like the first one was such a documentary movie, and I feel like that was the main thing for it.
Yeah. The second one was trying to have a plot and everything, and it just...
I'm like... My favorite thing is like... this is a sneak preview of next week, which is my nostalgia episode. Remember the Blair Witch Scooby-Doo episode?
Oh, yes.
Like the Scooby-Doo,
the Scooby-Doo Project or something like that?
The Scooby-Doo Project?
Yeah. Oh.
That was the funniest thing ever.
If you haven't watched it, it's on YouTube. Just look up Scooby-Doo Blair Witch or something and it should pop up. It's like 15 minutes long.
Yeah.
But it's worth the watch.
It is.
It's completely worth the watch.
It's great, yo. It's great, yo. And then I think yesterday we were watching Billy and Mandy Save Christmas.
Yeah, watching Billy and Mandy.
Because we hang out before class, and we have a lot of time before our other class.
Too much time.
Way too much time. So we just sit around and just we just hang out and just talk.
Yeah.
Like this. Not like this, but just talk.
Ow.
But I wanted to get into like the thing with the horror meltdown. So you probably don't know this. This is the horror meltdown where I talk about the horror news of the week, where I compile all the horror news and talk about it. So obviously next week I'll be able to talk about Halloween Horror Nights a lot more from Universal Orlando, because last week I think they announced the first maze for it.
Oh.
You know Halloween Horror Nights? No,
I don't. Oh, is that like Universal?
Yeah.
They just turned it like for the month of October.
Yeah,
they're just like, hey, we're scary now.
Like last year they had a scare zone for Killer Clowns from Outer Space. Yeah, that's how awesome that was.
Okay.
They had a Stranger Things maze.
Yeah.
A couple of years ago they had a Krampus maze.
Krampus.
And they had in the previous year they had Trick or Treat as a maze.
Oh.
The Michael Daughtry movie.
Yeah.
Like, they have good mazes. They have really immersive mazes.
Yeah.
But I would never go into one.
No.
Like, for me, even going into a place, if I hear revving of the chainsaws, I'm like, nope.
I need out of here.
I'm out of here. Bye. Bye. Good evening. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. And then this week they announced that, last week they announced the Stranger Things maze is coming back for season 2.
Uh-huh.
So I'm like, okay, that's fine.
I don't watch Stranger Things. So
I'm like, Stranger Things is like the first season is like awesome, but the second season has a filler episode that's worse than any of the filler episodes I've ever seen in my life.
Ooh.
Like
it's not your standard. They're locked in a freezer and they have to remember everything so they can fill up the episode.
No. It's not like that. It's a whole separate side story with characters that you barely met.
My favorite. Ugh. If anyone wants a TV show to watch, watch Clerks the animated series. Not sponsored. Hashtag not sponsored.
Hashtag not sponsored. I'm getting probably.
We're gonna get in trouble.
but other than that, I basically like the fact that for me, like, Halloween Horror Nights is fun.
Okay.
But I think this past year they had Poltergeist the maze as a maze from the original Poltergeist from the 80s.
Okay, no, I've never seen
awesome.
Poltergeist.
But speaking of Poltergeist, they're doing a remake again.
Again?
Of another Poltergeist remake.
Again?
Yeah.
Was this like the 4th time?
This is like the 2nd time.
Oh.
So, for those who do not know, Poltergeist is a movie from the 80s that will never be remade in the way that was done because Tobe Hooper is not involved. God bless that man. That man, even though he passed away, I think last year.
You think?
He did.
Yeah, I don't remember.
But he directed the original Poltergeist movie.
Okay.
And basically he was a good director.
Yeah.
And people are like, "Oh, Steven Spielberg directed the movie." I'm like, "Yeah. No."
No, he produced it.
I'm like, he produced it. If this is like during the time that he was making E.T. with Steven Spielberg, so he wasn't allowed to direct anything. For any other company.
Yeah.
He just had to make E.T. Someone just like, yeah, he just got Tobe Hooper to direct it. And some people said, oh, Steven Spielberg directed most of the movie. I'm like, no, he didn't. Like, even some guys on set were like, yeah, no, he didn't.
No.
Tobe Hooper did. So, obviously the guys from the Russo brothers are producing the remake with from the new Poltergeist remake, which is interesting to say the least.
Yeah.
Not bad, just interesting.
Yeah.
But we are going to take a quick break here in WMSC Upper Montclair, New Jersey. I just have to pull up the thing.
What is up, everybody? It's Alejandro Arceo here, and make sure to tune in to Good Vibes with Alejandro every Thursdays from 4 to 7 p.m. for good times, good vibes, good laughs, good music, all that good stuff. Every Thursdays from 4 to 7 p.m. All right.
Hey guys, we're back here in Geekly. That was a quick break.
That was super quick. Well, I wasn't
super
prepared.
quick. You weren't prepared.
Cool.
Nobody was prepared. It's like the joke of like let's do this, Leroy Jenkins.
Leroy Jenkins.
What's wrong, guys? I was just trying to eat I was just getting my chicken. Leroy. But obviously, other than that, Dave Bautista will slay zombies in the new Zack Snyder's Army of Dead for Netflix. So Zack Snyder's making a zombie movie again. So that's going to be pretty good stuff right there. Who knows? Zack Snyder is an interesting director.
Yeah, to say the least.
To say the least. I won't say anything bad.
No.
I don't trust myself anymore. but obviously, did you see Jared Leto's full look of Morbius?
No.
It looks so funny. He's like, it's like on Instagram. He looks.
Let's see, pulling it up now.
Like he's just pulling it up, but you'll be in shock. Like let's just say.
Let's see. We'll hit the images tab.
He basically he released the image last week, and it looks interesting to say the least. Like way too realistic.
He's got to stop doing that.
He's got to stop.
He did that with Joker, too. And
he's got to stop with the realism.
The Joker is supposed to be, in my opinion at least, a comedic character.
Like Joaquin Phoenix.
Yeah, like Joaquin Phoenix. You know, that one I'll go give him that. The makeup actually looks better.
The makeup looks 10 times better.
It kind of reminds me of the campiness of the original 66 Batman.
That's why I like it.
Oh, I got it.
And I'm like, I said to myself, I actually might watch this movie on opening night.
I don't know. If it'd be opening night.
I'm probably going to watch it on Sunday night.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I have to go, because I'll probably have to come back here to campus. Yeah. But for me, those, basically to give you guys context, he is wearing a leather jacket hoodie, and he is like, I'm the living vampire, and I'm like, oh no.
Stop.
Like seriously, like I understand the fact that Jared Leto has to get into character for his movies.
Yeah.
But he really doesn't for this movie.
No.
He really doesn't have to get into character. He really doesn't need to get into a vampire mood.
Well, that's the one downside to method acting is that everyone kind of takes it a little too far. Like he did with the Joker. Just look up the stuff he did. Don't do it.
Yeah.
But
it's like do it 101.
Yeah, honestly.
But for me, like I kind of don't know how to feel because one of my friends actually likes Venom, and I've said to him before. He said like, listen, I think they should have Rob Zombie direct the second movie, and I'm like, stop. I had to leave that conversation when I was talking to him. I'm like, okay, bye. I'm just like, okay, bye.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I gotta go.
Bye.
Oh, I hear that.
So what'd you think of Venom? Like
I'm gonna be honest. I didn't see it.
Let me give you an idea. The first 10 minutes of the movie, like it's like how it's not as it's like the first 10 minutes should hook an audience.
Yeah,
that's the number one rule.
Oh, of course.
But the first 10 minutes of that movie does not hook me.
Really?
Yeah, and that's a bad sign.
Yeah, that's a terrible sign.
And he said, and then the dialogue is like it's almost out of the 90s. Yeah, where it's like trying too hard. Where it's like weirdly trying to be like comedic, but it's way too dark to be comedic.
Yeah. You don't gotta be comedic with every movie you make.
It's like the weird like in between. It's like the weird in between. That's really the best way to say it.
Yeah.
Like it's not exactly the best thing to do.
Right.
But it's not also the greatest thing.
No, yeah. If you can make it work, do it.
Yeah.
If you can't, don't. You're not gonna make anyone happy.
Yeah.
You're gonna piss people off.
You are. For me, like that's my main problem, and like there are a few trailers that came out this week. Other than like
The Lion King.
The Lion King, which is the Addams Family.
They're remaking the Addams Family again?
Animated. And it actually looks more like the original drawings from the original artist.
Oh, okay.
So it actually looks really fun.
All right, I'm going to be honest. I didn't see it.
No. But there's another movie, Jim, I think The Dead Don't Die with Bill Murray in the zombie movie.
Again?
Another zombie movie.
Again? He was good in Zombieland.
Yeah.
Like, I'll say that. He was really good in it, so.
For me, I saw it. I think it was okay, funny. It's not great.
No,
funny.
it's not.
No, like
weren't they remaking Zombieland? What are they doing Zombieland?
They're doing a sequel.
Oh yeah, let's wait 10 years to make a sequel. Totally not doing it for the money.
Like for me, when I saw Zombieland, I basically said like halfway through the movie, it's not as funny as it thinks it is.
No, it wasn't.
And it's like the opening minutes are awesome.
No, yeah.
Like the opening minutes, like when it gets to the midpoint, I don't like it anymore.
No. Like the titles for that movie are amazing and they're fun.
Yeah.
But,
I'm like, I don't want to follow a character that's like kind of not interesting.
Yeah.
That's my problem with Jesse Eisenberg's character.
Yeah.
He's not as interesting.
Yeah. He always seems to take those roles though. Like he has a lot of characters that aren't that interesting to watch.
Like Lex Luthor from Batman v Superman. He's like, that character. Oof. That character in Batman v Superman was not a good character for him.
Nope.
It should have been Bryan Cranston.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
Yeah, it should have been.
Yeah.
But we're not here to say that the casting.
We're not here to tell people to do their jobs.
We're not here to tell people how to do their jobs because we're just like armchair like. We're
armchair quarterbacks, basically.
We're armchair quarterbacks. We're like, I can make that, bro.
Oh, I could have made that field goal. How could he have missed it?
Oh, my favorite thing is, like, speaking of one thing about sports, is, like, when the Chicago Bears, like, when the Chicago Bears, the kicker lost the field goal.
Oh, yeah.
They actually, I think a brewery set up a 40-yard field goal.
Yes, because it was the same length. And originally, I think they were just going to give them lifetime of adult beverages. And I think that's a federal law that you can't do that or something. So what they said was that they will give you football tickets for any game you wanted, anytime, anywhere, if you could actually make this field goal.
Yeah.
And a lot of people tried doing it.
Yeah.
No one made it.
No.
Shockingly.
Yeah,
like 40 yards, it doesn't seem like a lot on television, but if you ever been to a football stadium for a football game, you realize how big a football stadium actually is.
It's big.
It's huge.
Like, especially when you're like for me, like, going to sport events is like sometimes, like, going to baseball, especially.
Yeah.
It's like, baseball is like, it can get slow at times.
Yeah.
It's just like, it's like people say, would you rather watch golf or baseball? I'm like, I'd rather golf.
Golf keeps me entertained.
Golf keeps me entertained slightly.
Slightly.
There's not enough going on.
Yeah.
And it's just like, but, obviously for me, we're gonna talk about the previous Star Wars Celebration, because Star Wars Celebration is this weekend. And I can't wait to laugh about a few things, because I can't wait to laugh about, I tried to go there. I tried to get my friends to go.
Where is this? This is down
in Chicago.
Oh, okay. So
you know how hard it was to get them to go?
Really hard, probably.
Really hard. Like, they're like, no, we can't go. And I'm like, but it's Star Wars Celebration. I don't think they're going to do the East Coast again.
No, probably not.
No. And they're like, I'm like, even if they did New York City, it probably wouldn't be at the Jacob Javits Convention Center.
Maybe.
It would be, but it would be scattered.
Yeah.
Like New York Comic Con.
Yeah. Like,
people say to me, oh, why don't they have it somewhere like, that's a big, like, why don't they have it in Baltimore? I'm like, Baltimore can't handle it.
No.
And they said, like, what about Philadelphia? No, Philadelphia can't handle it. And then they said, New York City. I'm like, they could handle it, but they have to scatter it.
Yeah.
The same thing with New York Comic Con.
Oh, yeah.
And then I've said to people, I'm like, I would love for it to be closer, but Chicago is one of the best cities to have it in.
Yeah.
But it's not great.
Yeah.
Because I would be afraid to go there.
Oh yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah, well, we won't touch that.
Yeah, but for me, like, Star Wars Celebration is one of those conventions I really want to go to, because it sounds so much fun. But at the same time, like, oh my God, there's gonna be Star Wars fans that are just gonna be sad. They're just gonna be like so sad.
You're gonna take one look and be like, oh no.
They're just gonna be like, they're just like this. They're just like,
they're just like you could tell they haven't like. I won't touch that. We'll talk later about that.
But like obviously for me, I just find it so funny. Like I was thinking about going, and I was like thinking about like I was texting my friends, and they're like, yeah, we should do this. I'm like, tried to get an Airbnb. An Airbnb in Chicago around that time was so cheap.
Really?
Yes.
Huh.
Like I could have found a place that was really good and really close, but my friends didn't want to go. And you want to know how much the tickets were for the actual convention?
How much?
$75.
$75?
Yeah.
Is that for the whole weekend?
That's for one day.
That was for one day?
Yeah.
You're getting robbed.
I know. But I'm just like, for a Star Wars convention, that's, for an official Star Wars convention.
Oh, it's official?
Yeah.
So Disney has given it its stamp of approval.
Yeah.
Oh, that's why it's $75.
So then it's really well
okay.
run.
I thought it was just a fan. I thought it was.
No, if it was a fan convention, it'd be like $50.
I would think 100, but
no, it's like I think George Lucas started it.
Really?
Yeah.
You got to make that money somehow, boy.
It's like George Lucas was like, I have to make more money.
I ain't making enough money off the toys anymore.
He's like, I ain't making enough money off Jar Jar Binks.
How come Jar Jar Binks is famous? Need him to be more famous.
Have you seen the behind the scenes of Star Wars Episode 1?
If I have, it's been years.
It's so funny. It is some of the funniest stuff ever. Because the editor, explained how the movie doesn't work in the sense, like, you can have a happy scene and then have a scene that's supposed to be triumphant and then have a scene where it's just a low point. And it's like, and it's filmmaking 101. And it's like, he's like, George Lucas is like, okay. He's like,
do what you want.
It's just, nobody said no to him. And I think that was, I think that was the whole problem with the prequels. Nobody said no to him.
Yeah.
Because I think they all just said, okay, George.
Yeah, sure, why not?
Yeah, like,
you're paying us.
You're paying.
We're getting good money to make this movie. Yeah.
I'm like, I'm not saying anything.
We won't touch it because we're not sponsored and we don't want to be.
Yeah.
We don't want to be irking the wrong people. So.
But obviously for me, like, I think the thing that I'm really worried about is Star Wars Episode 9.
Okay.
Like, it's not the fact that I'm worried about. It's the fact that I don't exactly. Like, when I saw the leaked I saw a poster, somebody by accident, quotes, in air quotes, the poster came on the internet. But I saw the poster. It looks surprisingly decent.
Really?
It looks not, like, bad. It just looks like they're taking the complaints from Last Jedi. I'm like, this is what the problems with Last Jedi were. The pacing problems, the characters were underdeveloped,
yeah,
and it felt too much like the prequels at times. I'm sorry to say that. It did feel like the prequels at times.
Well,
it was like a 7 out of 10 for me. It was good, but it had those problems of, like, the pacing, the character underdevelopment.
Yeah.
And it felt like the prequel with one scene, the Canto Bight scene, the casino scene.
I have never seen the newer Star Wars movies.
Okay. To give you an idea, like, you know how, like, the casino scene in Attack of the Clones, like the cantina.
Yeah.
In Attack of the Clones.
Okay.
It's somehow
worse.
It's nicer than that.
Okay.
But it just feels too much like.
It's just like a waste of the time for everybody.
It's a waste of the time for everybody.
Okay.
It's like you could have just cut right there. When they say we have to go to the casino, and just cut to them right into.
It's like, oh, hey, we're already in casino, man. Look at that.
No. You could have just said, you have to find this person. Cut. They're in. They like see the person for a split second, and then they're in jail.
Oh.
That would have been more interesting.
Okay.
Because then it would have been like, how did they get into jail? And I'm like, I don't know.
Who cares?
Like for me, Rian Johnson was not the best director for episode 8.
Okay.
Like, I know you haven't watched it.
Yeah, no. So, like, I'm a little out of the loop for the sake.
But the other thing is, like, for me, like, Star Wars is just, it's an interesting thing because my mom likes it.
Yeah.
My mom loves Star Wars a lot. But I'm one of those people who's like, I love Star Wars as well. And she says, yeah, that movie, she liked Rogue One. Like, she's an old school Star Wars fan.
Okay.
If she liked Rogue One, that's surprising.
Yeah.
Like, my mom does not like the prequels. She does not. Like,
It's hard pressed to find someone who actually does. But
I've actually met somebody.
Really?
At my work.
No.
When I was working at my movie theater.
No.
So I'll tell you the whole story. So I'm not going to say his name.
Yeah, well, obviously.
But I used to work with him at the movie theater. And I knew a couple people at the movie theater that were very interesting. One is a filmmaker that currently works for Troma.
Okay.
One is, I don't know where she is, but the guy that I know that liked the prequels,
mm-hmm.
I talked to him a few times. He seemed pretty chill, but then he started talking about bronies, how he's a brony, and I'm like, oh no.
Oh.
For those who do not know, bronies are male fans of My Little Pony.
Hey, to each their own, you know.
To each their own. To each their own. To each their own. If you like My Little Pony, that's fine.
Yeah.
Nobody's gonna judge you.
Yeah, we're not allowed to.
It's just a judgment-free zone.
Yeah.
But he said to me, I grew up with the prequels. I'm like, so did I, but
Yeah.
I didn't like the prequels.
Thought they were all right.
And he said, oh, Attack of the Clones is like the best Star Wars movie, and I'm like, oh, you're one of those. Oh, no.
You've obviously never seen the original ones.
Oh, you've never seen the original. He said, yeah, I kind of like it. And I'm like, oh, you. I'm like, no.
Cool.
No, you, I'm like, but for me, like, I just can't, like, take somebody seriously if they say that to me.
Yeah.
If they say, yeah, the prequels, they weren't that bad. Like, really?
Yeah.
Really? I'm like, it is. But for me, that's my thought process on it. Yeah. Like if I say that, like, I just generally think Star Wars for me is just like, I like the originals. I like Empire Strikes Back the most.
Okay.
Because Empire Strikes Back is just intense from start to finish.
All right.
And that's what I liked in Star Wars.
I like the Return of the Jedi better, but.
And I also like Rogue One because Rogue One actually reminded me of the Star Wars Battlefront game.
Oh, Battlefront.
That's the best way to explain it. Rogue One, the end battle scene.
Yeah.
Is something out of Battlefront.
Oh, okay.
Like something out of original Battlefront.
The original one for the PlayStation?
Yes.
Ooh.
Like ground to air combat.
Oh.
It was good.
Ooh.
We're here. It's top of the hour here at WMSC, Upper Montclair, New Jersey. And we're talking Star Wars. We're talking Star Wars, man.
Ooh, Star Wars.
Yeah, Star Wars. Star Wars is always fun to talk about.
Yeah.
Even though it's slowly not.
It's starting to get out of the cultural mainframe, but it only took 45 years, but you know.
Yeah. We're going to take a quick break here on WMSC Upper Montclair, New Jersey. And we're back here on Geekly. Welcome back to Geekly. I want to say thank you for Harry for coming on my show today.
Yeah.
Give yourself a round of hand. Yeah. Yeah. Golf clap. Shout out to those people who are just like, why is that noise so loud? But obviously the next topic is something that's very interesting, which is Shazam. I saw Shazam over the weekend.
Oh, I haven't seen it yet.
I'm gonna say something. I'm gonna go into non-spoiler. Okay. I'm gonna go into non-spoiler.
I'll cover my ears.
Basically, the whole movie is really fun. It's comedic at times, but like more like Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1 comedic.
Okay.
Where it's funny at times, but not exactly hitting all the right marks.
All right.
And at points, it's just not as like. And people say, "Oh, this is really funny." I'm like, "Yeah, it's Guardians of the Galaxy 1 level funny, which means it's funny, but not like fun.
Yeah.
Not like, oh my god, I'll be on the floor laughing my head off at the jokes. It was more like, It was more like, okay, like that.
Yeah.
Like that, like just snicker laugh. But for me, like, I was watching the movie and it was a little too intense for kids.
Really?
Yes. Like the opening 10 minutes of the movie, it's not intense. It's not for kids.
Oh, is it only really like PG-13 though?
It's rated PG-13, but like, it's a little too intense for little kids. Like little kids.
Oh, like 5 or 6 year olds.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, because the opening scene opens with a car crash.
Yeah, it's a little too intense.
And the monsters in that movie, it's like a monster movie as well.
Oh.
The monsters do not look friendly.
Okay.
And they, let's just say, the whole movie is just, like, the monster stuff is not friendly.
Okay.
Let's just say that.
All right. We'll keep it at that. Don't want to spoil it for people like me.
But for me, it's like, it's an 8 out of 10. It's a little bit better than Aquaman. Aquaman is like, yeah, Aquaman.
He's the Aquaman.
He's the Aquaman. Hey, Lois.
Oh.
Hey, Lois, I'm gonna go travel back in time.
Hi, Lois.
I'm gonna go travel back in time. You wanna know something funny? It's just like, I think my favorite thing is like how I think Ian or Peter told us about like the idea of Superman traveling backwards in time and just destroying the world.
What was he thinking about doing that? Like, you just wanted another day with Lois? Like,
he's like, remember in Superman 2, like how like Lois, like she like remembers the fact that he's Superman,
I've never seen any of the Superman movies.
Okay. In Superman 2, this is really funny. In Superman 2, Lois realizes that Superman is Clark Kent.
And
he's like, so Superman's like, I must kiss you to make you forget.
What? What?
I think that's how the movie ends, where she doesn't remember who Superman is.
What a great way.
What a great way to end a movie. Great way to end a movie.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, that's the funny thing is like, like watching that movie now, it's just like it's not meant for like, it's not great. It didn't age well. The same thing with Batman and Robin. It's now coming to Blu-ray 4K, baby.
Woo! Woo! Not like George Clooney and that's just what I want to see. But the question I got about that is, where do I get the back credit card?
Where do I get the back credit card?
I
think it should be. I think the back credit card should come with every Blu-ray, every Blu-ray 4K.
A back credit card.
A back credit card. I just feel like when I watched that movie, I just went like a little bit like, what's going on?
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Bring back the Ice Age. Oh, and it's just like, what killed the dinosaurs? The Ice Age. And it's like, and I remember they're watching like the Snow Miser and Heat Miser. the year without Santa Claus.
Yeah.
They're like, come on.
Don't make fun of that. That's my favorite Halloween. That's my favorite Halloween. That's my favorite Halloween special, everybody.
Holiday special.
Woo!
I love that holiday special.
That's like one of my favorites.
That is the best one.
Did you ever see the remake of it they did? The Miser Brothers?
That one's horrible.
Oh my god. Yeah, it's got Jay Leno.
It's got
the villain.
Jay Leno.
And it's 3D animated, not claymation.
I thought Jay Leno was always the villain.
Jeez. Just being upfront about it, huh? Jesus.
Because let's for those who do not know, he basically forced Jimmy out of early retirement.
Yeah.
He didn't let David Letterman take over the Tonight Show. And then he said, Conan, oh yeah, you're going to get my show, but then you're going to have to deal with my show as well at 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
Jay Leno, the Jay Leno Show.
I still vividly remember when the Tonight Show was hosted by Conan O'Brien.
That was really funny.
That was the best. I was like, man, this is great.
My favorite thing was when he went on it was like in Hollywood Studios.
Yeah.
So he sometimes he went on the tram. He went outside to do when the tram would come by.
Yeah.
One of my favorite moments is the fact that Jimmy I think Jim Carrey was on, and Jim Carrey, he pretended to be Norman Bates. So he took like an axe and he just started swinging at the tram, like a real axe, I think.
Ooh.
And that was one of the funniest things ever.
Yeah, don't do that, kids.
Don't do that, kids. Don't do that, kids. But the best one is like when he's like, it was the last episode of the Tonight Show, so he started spending all the money. So he said, we have the world's oldest skeleton shooting caviar out of the at an original Picasso. This bid, $12 million. Oh, and then my favorite thing about Conan O'Brien is the fact that Conan Without Borders, the funniest one is the one where he goes to Italy with Jordan Sudeikis. And the best moment is like they both hate each other, and it just reminds me of Top Gear.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just like, why don't they do a show like that? Why don't they do like where Conan goes with Jordan Sudeikis around the world, and Jordan is just like he doesn't think humor's funny.
Yeah.
And Conan just makes fun of everything.
Jeez.
Like for me, like I like Conan O'Brien.
Yeah.
Like he's fun. Jay Leno is just like Jay Leno. It's a Jay Leno.
Jay Leno.
And I'm like, Jay Leno, you're still around.
You're still here?
You're still here. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to the people who like Jay Leno. I'm just like, my favorite thing is like old David Letterman. like younger David Letterman. Like when he used to be like, David Letterman used to like, one of my favorite bits. He got a megaphone and he shouted out at like the Today Show when they were doing an interview with Miami Vice. He was like, "Look at this! It's a kite. It's almost as big as the whole thing." Jesus. I'm just like, it's like a newspaper ad for the Today Show, or like something like that.
Yeah.
And he just said, "Look, it's a kite and it's so big." And like one of my favorite things about David Letterman is the fact that he had a way better dry sense of humor younger.
Yeah.
Like way better.
Oh,
like
yeah.
so funny. Like one of my favorite things is like he would call people on. He would go into places and be like, "Can we film here?" And they're like, "No."
Yeah, no, leave.
Like my favorite is like Conan liked Abe Vigoda a lot.
Yeah.
And they tricked the Tony Awards to let Abe Vigoda into the Tony Awards.
Jeez.
Abe Vigoda, the national treasure.
Oh, Abe.
And my other thing is like when he hosted the Emmys, Conan hosting the Emmys, and they had Bob Newhart in like a glass case. I don't want to say that joke because that joke is really messed up.
Yeah, we'll leave it at that. We'll leave it for the imagination.
We'll leave it for the imagination. But obviously, I just like talking about funny things.
Oh yeah,
because it's funny. It's
no, it completely is.
Like people, like I have this, like for people who do not know, I have a dry sense of humor, so I think British humor is way funnier than American humor. So I think stuff that takes the time to figure out what the joke is. Like one time I was sitting, like I tell you this one time, I was sitting in class once, and I was thinking about Monty Python.
That's not the best time to be thinking about Monty Python.
So I was thinking about the sketch where these two old ladies are at an art exhibit, and they all just like, and I don't want to get into the full thing, but basically the joke that killed me was the joke about like how they started eating the artwork.
Okay.
And then after that it was like Monet's brushwork doesn't tend to agree with me. Like an art critic said. I just find it so funny.
No, it is.
This might be, but obviously I have a very fun, but I just love that stuff. For me, it's just so much fun. I think it's really fun to do that.
Mhm.
I just love laughing at things. That's my main problem. Is just I just think hilarious things are just so funny to watch. Like I can't believe how much fun it is. It's just so much fun.
Yeah.
So we're gonna take a quick break here on WMSC Upper Montclair, New Jersey.
It's time for another WMSC featured movie.
Cass McCombs. Very interesting name.
Yeah.
Cass McCombs. Like like catacombs. But obviously we're gonna get into a very interesting topic, which is filmmakers and movie trailers. So when we go to the movies, when filmmakers like me and you, who've seen like more than a lot of movies.
Yeah.
When we go to the movies, we tend to judge like based on like we don't, when we watch a trailer, we don't watch it like, we don't just say, oh, we're excited for the movie. We look into the dialogue, we look into the characters, we look into the scenes, we look into the camera work and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And some people are like, that's very meticulous, but I'm like, yeah, but that's how we watch a movie.
Yeah.
So like, give people like a general, like to give people an example, like you've seen give like a simple trailer.
A simple trailer?
Yeah. Like a trailer that you know off the top of your head that is like not easy, but it's just like you can basically explain it.
Like I can just explain it flat out, like
yeah.
Telling the whole plot of the story without having to have seen the movie.
Yeah, yeah.
That's a tough one.
I know Terminator Genesis is one of them.
Yeah. The Rooms trailer.
Yeah.
The Rooms trailer just gives away the whole movie.
Yeah.
Like, literally, it's basically just plotted out in the trailer.
Yeah. It's like, can we just say something? That name of the character last night's at the film thing? The film last night?
I don't remember that.
You know what his name was?
What?
Johnny.
Johnny. Oh, hi, Johnny.
Oh, hi, Mark. Oh, hi, Johnny. I'm just like, we're gonna talk on air, off air about that.
Yeah, we'll talk later.
But for me, like, obviously, I tend to break down trailers. Like for the Avengers Endgame trailer,
yeah,
I could tell you like the movie's not gonna be friendly.
No.
Based off the dialogue, based off how the film is shot.
Yeah.
Like basically to explain that people like when the film is like shot like very like teal and very orange and very darker colors hues.
Mm-hmm.
That means like the movie's not going to be easy to watch.
No, it's not going to.
It's not going to be an easy film. And I've said this a lot of times on my radio show. I said Avengers Endgame, basically be prepared for Deathly Hallows level intensity.
Yeah.
Like not just like it's going to be dark. It's going to be like characters are going to possibly not be around.
Yeah.
Like to basically, for me, that's like when I watched the Venom trailer. You want to know why I could tell it was bad? The dialogue.
Yeah.
Like how the character, you are terrible. Like the line where it's like he said, "You are terrible at hiding." I'm like, that is such a bad line.
Why would you put that in your trailer?
Why would you put that in the trailer? Why would that be a selling point to the movie?
Yeah.
Like for me, like when I sit down to watch a movie trailer, like there are some movie trailers that I'm like I could tell you the whole plot of the movie.
Yeah.
With Green Book. Green Book, I could have told you the whole plot to the movie. Like there's going to be somehow at one point, there's going to be him standing in the rain and there. I thought they were going to use the standing in the rain scene where Mahershala Ali's character is standing in the rain, and I thought that was going to be for the Academy Award actor montage, for him to get the best supporting actor.
Yeah.
Because I thought that scene would have been just so Oscar-y.
Well, the whole film was basically Oscar bait.
It was. It was the guys who did Dumb and Dumber doing an Oscar bait movie.
Was it really?
Yes, it was one of the co-writers of Dumb and Dumber. Yeah, and people are like, this movie's so smart, this movie's so intelligent. I'm like, no, it's not. What are you people doing? Like, why are you people? And they said, did you even watch the movie? I'm like, no, I'm not going to watch a movie that I can tell it's Driving Miss Daisy 2.0. Oh, did I say that? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm sorry if I think this movie's Driving Miss Daisy 2.0.
Yeah, honestly.
Honestly, it is. And it's like, people are like, that's very mean of you to say, even though you haven't seen the movie. I'm like, if you watch the trailer closely, you can tell what the whole movie's gonna be.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, basically. Like, I don't need to watch the movie because I saw the trailer.
Yeah.
And for me, like, the Oscar movies this year weren't as good.
No. No, they really weren't.
They weren't. And people are like, no, they were the best movies. I'm like, no, they weren't. Roma was, I didn't even watch Roma. Roma was just like, it looks like it's like a long-winded essay about Alfonso Cuarón's life.
Yeah, I didn't see it personally.
It didn't interest me. But for me, like, I just thought for a second, like, that movie, like, and then remember when he did Gravity and people said this was a masterpiece? I'm like, when I saw it, it was terrible.
Yeah, I didn't want to see Gravity because the trailer just didn't pique my interest.
I can tell you, the only thing that made me happy was the fact that the movie was just over by the end.
Tried to get a drink of water and then I almost choke on the laughter.
It was one of those movies where just like by the end, I'm just like, can this movie be over? Really, can it just be over? Like,
just end it, please.
Please, this movie is taking forever of my time. I just want to buy my laptop. That day I was supposed to get my laptop that day.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, I was at the movies. My dad said, let's go get your laptop or we're going to watch Gravity first. I'm like, okay. Okay. Like, my dad is like, okay. My dad is really awesome. He likes going to the movies a lot.
Yeah.
Even though he played sports in high school, and played sports in college, he's really he's like really cool about movies.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Like, he was big into football and like all that stuff. And for me, like, that's really cool.
Yeah.
To have parents who are like really big into sports, but they're also interested in watching movies. For me, that's really fun.
No, it is.
And then some people who like didn't have that in their household, like, I don't know. But for me, it's like really nice because they don't treat me as like they treat me as a very creative person. So that's what I like a lot.
Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But for me, going back on like the filmmakers and movie trailers, it's a really interesting thought process when I sit down to watch a movie trailer. Because when I saw Terminator Genesis, Terminator Genesis. Did you see that movie?
No.
That movie had a plot that went every single which way in every single which direction. It was a movie that didn't know what it wanted to be.
Oh, like Suicide Squad.
Yeah, it was worse than that.
Oh, man, I remember the first time I saw the trailer for that movie.
Oh, yeah.
Oh. Man, I just got to reposition myself a bit.
Don't be too close to the mic.
I was with my friend.
Yeah.
We were hanging out, and he's like, hey, you want to see this trailer for this movie?
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, sure. Yeah, sure, why not? And he showed me the trailer. It was like the first trailer. It came out like the year before the movie came out.
Yeah.
Year or two. I don't remember. That trailer came out really early for it.
It did.
And I went, wow, this looks good. Like, the first trailer looked amazing.
Looked amazing. It did.
I was like, wow, I got to see this. And then when I went and saw it, I went, that was the movie?
That was it?
What?
Like, for me, my favorite joke is how Thor: The Dark World is so forgettable. Like, last week, I forgot, like, I think a couple weeks ago when I was doing when I'm doing the re-review, I forgot to even put it in the re-review. Oops. I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot to put that movie in. Oh well, it's a boring movie. It
Obviously,
doesn't say
it wasn't
much.
memorable if you didn't want to talk about it. So.
But I'm like, when I did that, I'm like, oh yeah, that's the movie. Oh.
That was a film, alright.
Oh. I like having that reaction whenever I watch a movie.
Yeah.
That's so interesting, to say the least. Like, after a movie, I say, like, well, that was a movie.
It was a movie.
That was a movie. I like saying that because then I don't have to offend anybody.
Yeah.
Because then I'd just be like, so, yeah, I'm like, that was a movie. Like, people say, like, I wouldn't, like, if I saw a really bad movie and the director was there, I'd be like, and I was forced to ask the question, I'd probably be like, yeah, that was a movie, so.
How was it like shooting the movie?
How was it like shooting the movie? And I would just not talk at all again.
No, yeah.
Because I'd just be like, don't call me again. Please don't.
Yeah.
I'm like not in agreement. I'm like, oh. Yeah, for me, like, the funny thing is, like the funniest movie trailer was the fact that the Suicide Squad movie, when I saw that in theaters, I saw that in IMAX.
Oh.
And I'm like, why did I watch it in IMAX? I'm
you
like,
wasted your money.
Oh, I did. But at least for Batman v Superman, I learned my lesson. At least for Batman v Superman, I saw it at Teen Cinemas for $5.
Oh, hey,
yay,
hey.
Because I didn't feel like paying more than that.
Even $5 was probably too much.
Even $5 for Justice League was too much.
Jesus. Oof. Got the roasting going on over here.
And also Fantastic Four from 2015.
The other laser in the sky movie. Ooh,
laser. It's just like that movie was so interesting. Like when I saw that movie, by the end of it, I was like, I can't believe I watched this movie for free, even though I was working at the movie theater. I'm like, why did I watch this movie?
It was free. Why did I still waste my time?
It was like one of those where by the end it's just like, I don't know if I believe Josh Trank or the studio either, because both are just like, well, you hired Josh Trank and here's what you got. Oops. And it's like, and I told this to Alex, I said, the only reason that Chronicle is good is because of the script.
Yeah.
That's it. Not the directing. Is that true?
Yeah.
Relatively true.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Relatively true. So, we're going to take a quick break here on WMSC Upper Montclair, New Jersey. And what is up, guys? Welcome back to Geekly. We're back here on WMSC Upper Montclair. We're here with Harry.
Hey. Yeah.
Hey.
How's it going, everybody?
Hey. How's it going?
Hey.
Hey. It's just 2 minutes of us doing for Arthur Fonzarelli. Hey. Yo, perfectly balanced this whole thing should be, yo. Bringing it back.
Could you get copy struck over the air? Now it's just half an hour of us coughing.
Yeah, now it's a half an hour of us just coughing.
Almost died over there.
Ooh, no.
Ooh, oh no, let's not have that.
We don't want another Hawks Crossing. Or supposedly it's on.
Let's not get in trouble today.
I'll probably get in trouble.
Oops.
Oh no.
Alright, what's next on the docket?
So I'm gonna do the MCU Road to Endgame.
Oh, I don't know anything about the Marvel Universe.
Don't worry, it's just reviews.
Cool.
And then we're gonna slow down the show.
And then I'll just chime in anyways.
Basically, I really wanted to talk about this because I didn't want to talk about the there's so much things to talk about, but for me, we're gonna talk today on the MCU Road to Endgame. We're gonna do almost the final stretch. Almost. We're in phase 3 right now, but we're gonna talk about the Ant-Man, Captain America Civil War, Doctor Strange, and Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. So, obviously, Ant-Man is a decent film. It's a decent film. It's like a 7 out of 10.
Okay.
It's not like the most amazing film, but it's not like the best film ever. It's like the film that you're just like, it's not as bad as Iron Man. Iron Man 3 is like, in my opinion, Iron Man 2 is one of the worst Marvel Cinematic Universe movies ever. It is.
Okay.
Because it's misjudged. The plot is everywhere. It doesn't know what to do. And then you have Thor: The Dark World, which is just mediocre. Which is just a middle film where it just doesn't know what to do.
It's just kind of there.
It's just kind of there. And it's kind of like, oh, no, it's there.
No.
It's that one. It's like, oh, that one. You're just like, okay.
All right, wasted my money and time.
I wasted my money and my time. So great.
Yeah.
So, obviously, Ant-Man is more like a fun heist movie. Like the ones from the early 60s.
All right.
That just were really fun and really over the top.
Like it's a mad world or something like that?
Yeah,
okay.
Like just 60s fun heist movie.
Just having fun, like the original Ocean's movies with Frank Sinatra and the Rat Pack.
I do like the remake.
Yeah, well, the Soderbergh ones with Clooney and they're fun good.
Yeah, really good.
Yeah.
But for me, Ant-Man is like a fun heist film, and it's really fun. It has moments that it's just like reminds me of like the 60s heist films, like because it just has this funny sense of dry humor to it.
Yeah.
Which is really good, and it has that dry wit, and I'm like, I love that.
Yeah.
And then you have the character of like Paul Rudd being Ant-Man, which is really funny. He's like, yeah, I'm just Ant-Man.
It's Ant-Man, everybody.
It's Ant-Man, everybody. And then you have Michael Pena in the movie.
Jesus.
I love and for me, it's like, the best thing about it is like, people are wanting him to do the MCU recap of all the Marvel movies.
Yeah,
and
every time the new Avengers movie comes out, it's always get Michael Pena and his Ant-Man character to do it. Nah, it's got to be Michael Pena from Chip's character.
No, it's the funny thing is, him doing the recap would be one of the funniest things to watch.
Yeah.
It would be.
Oh, it would be.
They actually did it at San Diego Comic-Con.
Really?
When he was explaining it to Michelle Pfeiffer.
Oh.
Like, they did a video, and he's like, so, like, and it's just, like, the funniest thing, too. Like, that I've heard.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Like, you know how, like, at San Diego Comic-Con, you're not allowed to take videos?
You're not?
No.
Wow.
Even though some people do.
That's pretty rude.
Some people do.
Well,
some people don't care.
You can't tell people what they can or can't do.
The best thing is, like, I think a couple years ago, somebody leaked the trailer to the first Avengers Infinity War.
Oops.
And I actually saw it, and it was, like, pretty awesome.
Well, yeah.
Because if you know how to, it's just one of those things where it's just, like, it's really awesome to watch those things.
Yeah.
Yeah, even though it got copyright strike.
Well,
it's understandable.
That's completely understandable.
That's completely understandable. But going into Captain America: Civil War, that movie was pretty decent. Like, it was like, again, a 7 out of 10. Like,
okay.
Like, most of the MCU films are 7 out of 10.
They're watchable, but they're not like you fully wasted your money or.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, most of them are just 7 out of 10.
All right.
They're not like the best. Like, I think for me last year, I thought Spider-Man Into Spider-Verse was more interesting than Infinity War.
Really?
Yes.
Oh.
And Alex will contend with me about that movie. He'll say, like, no, Infinity War was better. It was so much better. It had more story. It had more plot. I'm like, Spider-Man Into Spider-Verse actually made me emotional 3 times in theaters.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just, but I just like that. I liked most of the MCU films. I grew up with them.
Yeah.
If you grew up with them, you're just like, yeah, they're just awesome. And that's what I like about it. And for me, like, Captain America: Civil War is like a fun, like a 90s action movie, which I really love at times. Like, really awesome, really good pacing. And, like, the character of Baron Zemo is just, as like a 90s villain.
Yeah.
Like, he's like, I just love that character in that movie. Especially seeing it in Dolby Cinema.
Oof.
That was good.
Yeah, well, yeah.
And I saw it on opening night. That was really fun. Ant-Man I saw in IMAX 3D.
Okay.
That was fun.
All right, yeah.
I just think it's...
No, yeah, that's fine, yeah.
And then I saw it, and then Doctor Strange. Oh, Doctor Strange. The visuals are like a 10 out of 10.
Really?
Of that movie.
Really?
It was like a 1970s experimental film.
Okay.
I can't mix with Inception.
Okay.
But I don't want to get into.
That's kind of interesting, actually.
Yeah. It's like, I don't want to say exactly.
Well, yeah, you don't want to fully spoil it for everybody,
but it does have moments in the movie where it's just like, oh wow. Especially in the IMAX 3D.
Oh, ooh.
That was.
That might have been. Oof.
It was an awesome
treat.
It was a treat. It was a treat. That's a better word to put it.
Yeah.
But it was really fun. It had one of the coolest scenes I've seen in IMAX in a long time.
Oh. Okay.
Where it's just like, that scene is awesome. Where you're just like sitting there, and you're just like, yeah, it's awesome.
Oh, okay.
But for me, like, sitting there in the theater, it was a really fun movie. It's really one of the few movies that I would say is just like, it knows what it is. And that's what I like about it. And like, for me, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 is way more fun than the first film.
Okay.
Like, it's way more fun. It knows that's over the top. It knows it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
But Volume 2 is just like, it takes it to the nth degree. And it just has too much fun with it.
Okay.
And my favorite thing is, like, my friend Karen, one of my friends, when we went to go see the movie, she barely tried to catch up with me. when I was trying to get seats.
Oof.
It's nothing against her. It's just the fact that she couldn't keep up with me.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is, like, when I go see movies, I usually grab a bite to eat before the movie.
Yeah.
And it's really fun with my friends and all that stuff. So usually I go to either a burger place or beforehand.
Okay.
So it's really nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, do you do that before a movie?
Not all the time. I'll usually I'll leave the house beforehand and do it. I won't go in. I think one time when I went in with my dad to go see Cold Pursuit, we went to like Five Guys.
Yeah.
Because there was only the two of us at home, so like, I might as well just go out to eat. But I don't usually buy popcorn either at the movies either.
I don't buy popcorn either.
I don't like eating popcorn while watching a movie. I'd rather just buy a soda and then just.
For me, like, Avengers Endgame is gonna be one of the few films where I'm just like, I'm gonna have to do certain things when I'm just like before the movie.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not gonna buy a soda.
Oh,
basically. Yeah. Because I don't wanna leave during the movie.
Oh yeah, of course.
At all. Like, I don't wanna leave because it's gonna be 3 hours of intensity.
Yeah.
And that's what excites me about the movie.
Okay.
But we're gonna take a quick break here on WMSC Upper Montclair, New Jersey. Hey guys, welcome to Geekly. We're gonna close out our show because I have to close out my show. Not his show.
Yeah, I don't have a show.
But as always, this has been a really fun episode. Unfortunately, we have to close our show. We have to end it really soon. Yeah. So to give your closing thoughts.
My closing thoughts?
Yeah. Kind of like just
how much fun I had on the show.
Yeah.
I had a lot of fun actually.
Yeah. It's a lot of fun.
If you'll allow me back.
Yeah, I'll allow you back.
Cool.
Don't worry.
Oh, cool. Oh.
It's not like
it's not that bad. Okay. Cool.
No. but obviously it's been a really fun episode. It's been really fun today. Yeah. And I hope you guys tune in for next week, which will not be at the regular time. It'll be at 4 p.m. to 6 p.m.
Oof.
But the thing is, it will be the WMSC's 52nd anniversary broadcast, which will be, I think, about I don't know how many hours, but it will be hours and hours of entertainment.
Wow.
But my show, Geekly, will be doing a really fun episode for that next week. I'll be doing a nostalgia episode where I'll be talking all about the nostalgic things that we love from my childhood, from Nickelodeon Gas to Boomerang to a bunch of stuff, to Toon Disney, and Jetix.
Woo.
And Jetix, Super Monkey. Like, I was watching old cartoon commercials, getting myself mentally prepared for next week.
Yeah.
Because I just love the fact that I'm doing a full nostalgic episode. And I can't wait to talk about one of my favorite things, which is Nickelodeon Gas. I can't wait to talk about it. And as always, I always leave on this famous Stan the Manly quote, Excelsior, ladies and gentlemen. Excelsior.